The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Unique, New York. Unique, New York.
God damn it, dude.
Oh, I need a haircut. All right, ready? Three, two, one. Hello and welcome to episode 15 of Nerds and Words. I'll be your host, Tim Allen 1337, and I am joined today, as always, with Moreland TV.
Hello.
And the most famous BDO Twitch streamer anybody has ever had the pleasure of meeting, Potion Shop TV.
Hi.
We got a lot of great content, as always, this week. A bunch of changes in BDO, and we've got some new world stuff as it came to a conclusion to go over as well. So, as we normally do, if we could get started with our weeks, I would love to hear from Potion Shop first this week as a nice little change up, as long as he promises to allow the rest of us to go through our weeks before getting into the patch notes.
Just make sure to remind me. All right. Well, I got 62 Hashashin. So that's my big thing I did this week.
Wow.
I working on maybe getting 63. I'm not really sure. I mean, I want to get 63 eventually, but I don't know if that's going to be a sooner thing or a later thing. So that's basically what I've been up to. Going to be putting out a YouTube video later on the combos, and I don't know, that's about it.
Oh, God, do I need to watch that?
Are you pretty pro Hosh player now? You're going to make a guide for all the combos? You got them all figured out?
Yep. I think the way to design the class is basically you're supposed to do Pearl Business combos and everything else doesn't work. So it was pretty easy to figure out. The ones that felt clunky, you just don't do those. And all the other ones is the ones you work on. I think it's actually pretty fun, though, once you figure it all out. There's a little bit of freedom in there. Like one thing I figured out is like you can basically do spacebar, which is Owl's Dominion. After almost any of your sword attacks, you can do that. And so that actually combos really, really well. It does a lot of damage. And then after that, it's just your tornadoes for all your extra DPS.
I want to do some Hashashin fights with you, Potion. When are we going to fight?
Wait, what channel are you on? We can do it right now.
No, we can't. We got to do the podcast right now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Remember the podcast that we're doing. Yeah.
What
the fuck is a Pearl Abyss combo?
I think they designed the class for you to do a particular combo, and if you do anything outside that, it just doesn't feel correct. So, for example, they made your Shift in Q animation cancel basically any of your other abilities, but your Shift E, which is also another tornado ability, when you use that, it doesn't animation cancel ever. So you have to, if you ever want to do an animation cancel, you have to use the Shift Q to animation cancel your abilities. And then the same thing is also true for like your basic combos. Any of your sword attacks, you can combo them afterwards with Owl's Dominion. If you try using anything else other than Owl's Dominion for a combo, it just doesn't feel correct. It doesn't feel right. It's not very smooth. The animations don't line up properly. It feels like your character goes, I have my hands up here. I have to put them back down before I can use my next ability. But, if you do the abilities that Pearl is programmed, then instead of putting their hands back down by their side, they actually just flow into the next attack. There's like a lot of...
Is that different from other classes you played? Are you used to playing classes who can cancel anything into anything?
There's a lot... The classes I've played have a lot more freedom to them. Like, I like playing a Zerker, I like playing Sorceress, I like playing Lawn, and those just have a lot more freedom in those combination choices. And then I feel like Hashin doesn't have as
yeah. I can kind of see what you're saying. I think it's a little early to say because we only have half his skills right now.
True.
I think that they did a pretty decent job, though. Honestly, especially compared to the last couple classes they came out. I mean, if you look at like Pre-Awakened Guardian, that was one of the clunkiest, most unfun class releases I think they've ever done until they finally came out with the Awakening, and then the class was all of a sudden godly. But just playing the Pre-Awakening by itself, I don't know, it was kind of like I couldn't really get into it, but Hashishin, I found myself like really wanting to stay up and keep fighting and keep learning new combos and do a bunch of PvP over at Naga's for like 10 hours straight. I was having a pretty good time with it.
I guess my experience that I had on it is like, as right now I'm having a lot of fun, but I feel like the learning experience was frustrating because I kept having these abilities I tried using and then I just felt like they didn't work and I didn't know why they weren't working until I found the so-called correct combo. So I wish that new player learning experience had a little bit more smoothness to it, so that you don't feel like you're just using the wrong abilities. But maybe like, because in Sorceress you might use Violation over and over again, but then you find out you can use damage buffs and then Violation, and you kind of have this like smooth learning curve where you don't feel like you're getting any bumps in the road. It's kind of obvious what the first ability is, and you take steps to improve on the way. But I don't know. I've had fun with it though.
I think we should dive into that conversation a little bit after we do our weekly thing, but
Sure.
I think it just takes time to flesh that out. Where like I've got like this amazing pre-awaken combo or self buffs that I do in Guardian that I just didn't find in the first couple weeks of playing it, and it's this really smooth, just jumping around that has movement stuff like that. Maybe it's only been out for like 5 days, so. That's an interesting take, though. I'm sure we'll dive more into that in a little bit. Marlon, how was your week, buddy?
Pretty good. Let's see. The pin Black Star was last week, right? So I shouldn't bring that up again this week.
Please don't.
Okay. So, other than the fact that I still have a pin Black Star, my week has been going pretty well. I actually am enjoying the new class. I was pretty annoyed at first that they released a class without an awakening because I think that's just a really outdated way of doing things. But I still ended up having quite a bit of fun with it nonetheless. I also had a really good time playing Among Us with Tim Allen and Blade Boquez. That was some very high quality gaming. I think Blade had a lot of fun. I'm sure he'll be back for more. And speaking of Blade, he managed to I managed to buy another pin item. It's not a Black Star, but I did manage to buy a pin ring off the market from Blade late last night when people weren't watching. So I've yet to reveal what it is.
Let's see.
You're
What
such a
does he
man of
have
mystery.
as a pin?
Yeah,
Binchos?
he's been trying to sell it to me for 6 months. No, it's a ring. Benchos is a necklace.
Binchos ring. Yeah. I don't know. Wait, Ring of Good Deeds, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe.
That is a very Blade item.
It is. That's good. I'm happy you still have your pen Black Star. So you have a
I
pen
haven't
Black Star,
misplaced it or anything.
and we were in a node war yesterday, and you only got one more kill, even though you have a pen Black Star, than I did.
They're AP cap, Tim.
They need to look at that moss damage not being applied properly or something in PvP.
I keep thinking more of the lines along accuracy, but we can go with monster damage too.
Imagine being a Guardian in T1 Node War, the most overpowered class, and bragging that you're only one kill behind a Succession Warrior. Yikes. And he had more deaths too?
Yeah, because I go in. You play like a coward in the back.
So
apparently that's where all the kills are.
This was Null doing tier 1s?
Yeah. We'll talk about tier 1 changes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
We'll
that.
get into that.
Moreland and I have been playing quite a bit of video games together. It's been fun the past couple weeks.
I mean, I wouldn't say fun, but
Shut up. Bro, when I left the Among Us game, you were just like, I won all of them. What does that say? Okay. How boring is it just to win all the time?
it's true. You make that game a lot harder to win, especially when you're on my team.
Yep. Yep. We haven't been imposters together for a bit. That'd be
we would
that'd be
slay.
interesting. I know.
Yeah, we would slay.
Nobody has any idea what the fuck I'm ever doing, so it's pretty fun. Anyway, so bye week, played a little bit of Among Us with Blade and Moreland, but I started my new account, and I got up nice and early and waited for the servers to get up, and did the whole Twitch drop things, and everybody was really impressed that I was back in the BDO partner program. I didn't really correct anybody.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, thanks, dude. So I've made 2 videos so far. They were back to back. I did a 18-hour stream on Wednesday, and then I made a video basically highlighting everything that I accomplished on Thursday. And then I made a video on Friday highlighting everything I accomplished on Thursday and Friday morning. So really just kind of getting back into videos and getting my feet wet. About to drop a couple of guides here upcoming soon. It's been an experience. It's actually shocking how much $200 on an account can get you. I've got like 7 maids, a tent, a couple of costumes, a more old moon book of combat or whatever than I know what to do with. I've got like 8 tier 1 pets, maybe 9 tier 1 pets with all the events that have been going on. I'm probably going to get another 1 or 2 through the quest line and stuff.
Tim, real quick, my chat's asking why you got banned. Do you want to clarify that?
I did not anticipate how many people were going to think that I got banned. Did not anticipate that at all. But
it kind of
what's
makes
the
sense.
backstory on this?
Lines
I
up
don't-
with the
wait.
RMT stuff.
Yeah. Well, so the RMT bans went out the other week, and then all of a sudden I'm not playing on my main account, and I'm, in typical Tim Allen fashion, just hiding the truth about getting caught up in being banned for cheating. So I was reinstated into the BDO partner program and simultaneously after getting banned. Yeah. I said, well, now that your main account's dead, would you like to rejoin starting a new account? These are our terms. And I said, yes. Yeah. So
it's reasonable.
I'm gonna get a cease and desist letter or something.
They'll never hear this. Don't worry.
I know. Except for that one guy's fucking convinced that like this goes straight to the Pearl Abyss developers. Anyway,
I'm sure 1 or 2 of them watch.
Maybe. So it was a good week. I'm kind of just changing things up. Spending my mornings playing video games and off stream and just recording here and there, and then slamming it all into like a 3 to 5 minute video is actually a much higher quality of life for me, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm taking the weekends off of videos, but I'll get back to it.
What's your
Monday, Tuesday,
biggest
Wednesday,
surprise?
Friday.
What's the biggest surprise as playing on a new account? What was the biggest one?
That's a good question, Potion.
It took me like 5 minutes to think of it. Don't be too impressed.
I don't know if I may have to come back and answer that later.
Okay, that's fair.
I always enjoy watching you struggle with like no naders band and no tent and no any of that stuff.
I have a tent. I think my biggest surprise is actually how far it's $200 got me. As far
How
as
long
like,
did it take you to like crack and spin that? Were you trying to go without it at first, or did you just
straight away? I bought the $100 package on the word go, and then right after that, the other $100 went to a tent and weight, and that was pretty much it. So I bought an extra slot on the Naders band. If I do, when I get to life scaling, I'm probably going to drop another $100, but that'll be it. I don't want to do too much. I gotta make sure that this is successful and actually makes sense before I put more money into it. So I'm going to try to go along with $200 for now.
Yeah, makes sense.
Interesting. Yeah. So that was my week. I'm just going to keep plugging along at making videos. I'm getting better at it every single time. I'm trying to be a little more step out of my comfort zone with it stuff. So I enjoy it.
Well,
yeah, I need to get back into making videos too. I actually have some kind of good news regarding the website. It seems like it is actually going to be completed now. I have a guy who's working on it, and he's sent me a bunch of updates, and it's like really legit. So are you shaking your head now?
It's not legit. You're getting scammed again. You're never going to have a website.
I haven't even paid him yet. I can't get scammed if I'm not spending any money.
How could you even How could you even be hopeful if you haven't given the guy money? He's obviously just blowing smoke up your skirt.
He's not. I've seen the website. I can log into it and press buttons, and they work, and they calculate things, and it looks nice. So,
on a very related note, I think you would absolutely kill it in a kilt.
Yeah, it makes sense. I can see how those relate together.
Like around my waist?
Where else would you?
Yeah, I like wearing mine on my shoulders personally.
Potion Shop kills it in Jinko jeans, though. So we do. He does have that accolade going for him.
I did actually wear those.
No, I think you still do.
Shh.
Stand up. Stand up. Let's see.
No, we're good
Come
right
on,
now. All
come
right,
on.
first topic of the week.
Pants.
All right. Do you actually? Are you guys actually done? So?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's please move on.
I didn't want to jump ahead. So Hashishin is the first topic of the week. We kind of jumped into it a second ago with Hashin. Why are your first impressions? We already talked about it a little bit, but
I think Hashishin would look great in a skirt.
I think.
Why doesn't he have a kilt?
No, yeah, the costume that they started you off with, terrible, so bad. Definitely the worst release costume that they've ever had. Do you guys agree?
Everything else looks just like DK. I don't know why they just didn't put Stella DK outfit on this class.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
I can't believe how many animations are stolen from other classes. It's almost like every single one. I'm basically playing a worse DK. That's my impression of this class with tornadoes.
Okay, it is a worse DK. However, the tornadoes, when we actually get the Succession version, I think they're going to be a huge fucking deal in Node War.
Yeah.
Did you see people standing in even the shitty like pre-awakened tornadoes? If you stand in those, you die. Like you have to move. So if you're in large scale and you've got multiple of those little desert mages while dropping that stuff down and you get knocked down on top of one of them, I think it's actually going to be like an interesting zoning ability. I don't know how the rest of their skills are going to work, but that one tornado ability, Ael's Breath, that does some interesting shit.
I'm going to do at least one Node War on Hashishin, and I'm going to place my teleport on the inside. I'm going to climb over the wall, and I'm going to debate a whole bunch of people running around, and I'm going to teleport back inside. That's going to be the first thing I want to do on it, because that seems like using your teleport to either put it on the outside of the wall and like go through, and then just debate everybody to chase you, and then you just teleport back out and get out safely. I think that whole gameplay where you can teleport in, then teleport back out, and all that stuff seems to be really, really fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how. There's some people who are gonna be way smarter than me who figure out how to make that really, really fun and make some big plays.
To me, I think this class is obviously rushed. I think it's one of the lesser inspired, maybe more obvious classes. It definitely has the most.
Really?
It definitely has the most animations stolen from other classes. That really offends me.
Okay.
I hate that I'm doing regeneration from Ranger. I really hate that.
That's true. If they are going to steal animations, it needs to be non-Ranger animations.
Well, and then how many DK animations have they stolen? It's
Wasn't
so
it kind of the same with Guardian though? I mean, I would say a good chunk of the Guardian skills.
Yeah, but they fundamentally changed them, and this one they didn't fundamentally change them. Like you can clearly see it's DK dash and DK forward right click from Awakening. Those are exact copies, and then like your teleport from Valkyrie.
That's the only way we're gonna get a new class as often as they're pumping them out, though. You know, would you guys rather have more unique animations or half as many new classes?
I'm not interested in playing a new class every single time if it's going to be copied. You know, there needs to be something a little bit more interesting. Because
hold on, let me answer the Guardian thing. I think the Guardian was probably one of the best classes that they've released as far as inspiration, character design. Remember how many people were excited to make and play a Guardian just because she was this like thickness queen with all these great costumes, and both genders loved the way she looked and played and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, the pre-awakened release was a little clunky and stuff, but once the character actually came out, everybody almost unequivocally loved it. And this Hashishin thing just seems obvious, uninspired, and stolen in very obvious ways to me.
Yeah, I didn't
just
feel
like the character development and skill tree and all. The actual skill tree is clean, but you know the actual skills and how they work.
I mean, every single ability I can say came from another class. Like your tornadoes are like Aqua Gel at ranged. You know, like if your teleport is from Valkyrie, your movement is from DK. Your descent is from Ninja.
I think the tornadoes are Aqua Gel, just like smaller.
Yeah, I think that's all it is.
They move around though. That's new.
Yeah, that's new.
And then we're gonna get mystic animations for Awakening.
So I mean,
I-
I can definitely say that with Guardian, there was a few skills that I just were completely, I felt like were completely unique, and maybe they were derived from their class, but they felt fundamentally different. And I don't get any of that feeling from Hashin. I feel like all the abilities on Hashin, they're very, very similar, and it's sort of like I feel like now that I'm recognizing a few abilities, then like after I recognize like the DK abilities, I'm like, what else is in there? Like, and then it's like,
Right.
and then it just and I never had that moment with Guardian where I played it and I was like, I recognized that ability, and then I went and just recognized all the other ones. I never had that moment, and it kind of just feeds on itself when you start finding one and you start finding more,
Right.
and you need to keep the illusion that it's new. And I don't care if it's actually new or not. I just need the illusion that it's new, so I don't actually think about it consciously.
It took me so
I-
long to realize that Shift Q on Guardian, the God Incinerator, was DK's whatever that move is, because there was so much fucking lava coming out of the ground, and it was like a really cool kind of inspired rip off of it. It was a really good. It was like a cover tattoo, and they did a good job with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't feel the same way. I see what you guys are saying as far as the stolen animations, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't really bother me with this class. I like the way that it plays. It's obviously incomplete, but I think that when the Succession and when the Awakening comes out, like I'm actually going to have a lot of fun with this class. The
Awakening
last
looks
few,
sick. Awakening
yeah,
looks
like
sick.
I don't know, the way that Guardian played, that to me felt uninspired. That felt lazy. It was just like it's a bunch of AoE super armor. It's
Yeah.
like a very slow, I press button,
So-
everybody around me dies. Sort of like it seems like they really put some nuance into the way that you're supposed to move and combo, like the hourglass teleport back skill. There's some interesting new stuff that they're trying with Hashishin that I think indicates that they put more time into it rather than here's a bunch of giant AoEs with long animations and super armors that you can just sort of like string together.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're on the same page really, because I like how Hashin plays way more than Guardian. Like I didn't even level up my Guardian until like last week, the 61, and now my Hashin's already 62, and I've been playing for like 3 days. Like, I mean, I love the playstyle way more of Hashin for sure. I just think that I think that each one has its benefits. Like I think the playstyle is more enjoyable of Hashin, but the thematic of the like the abilities and stuff is a little better for.
Well, that's
Guardian.
why I said the opening costume was trash, because everyone got excited about Guardian
Yeah, I
because
see
of
what you're saying.
her pre-awakened costume.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, she looks so good in that Viking bearskin shit. That was like 90% of the Guardian hype. People didn't even really care
Not
about what her
wrong,
skills
bro.
were gonna be. With Hashishin, it's kind of the opposite. Like his design, it's like, okay, well, I guess he's like desert ninja. Like who cares? Like I don't know. His aesthetic is kind
Right.
of
That's what I was trying to
lacking.
say.
Yeah, I mean, stylistically, I see what you guys are saying.
Yeah, I
but
agree
in
with
terms
you.
of like mechanics and skill design, I think that this is I think this is like an interesting new class for once.
Yeah, this is the first class I've been excited for since Lawn. I've not been excited for any other classes before this except for Lawn. Like Lawn was the last class I got hyped for. So it's been Lawn and Hashin, and the ones in between, this didn't cut it for me. And that's the personal preference, maybe. I can see that maybe being personal preference.
Bro, I don't understand iframe classes at all. This shit's hard.
This is my bread and butter. I love it.
You'll get more, I think, when the kit is complete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm like that's part of this whole like, not only am I doing a new account, but I've never played an iframe class before. So like all of this is not my play style at all.
It's the Hash is, yeah, you can be pretty unprotected at the moment, like especially if you're trying to chase or disengage. You can get run down by pretty much any other class, it feels like. But I think that's just a result of the class being half finished in its current state.
I think so too, and I'm trying to get a feel for the pre-awaken kit because I know that's important, but at the same time, I'm really just kind of focusing on grinding up this account and kind of memorizing the skills and the animation cancels. I find it actually really, what's the word I'm looking for? I find it forgiving in its combinations, especially with the iframe and like the shift LMB, shift RMB, and the flow, the spacebar flow. There is a little bit of nuance to when you can cast a spacebar flow. I'm finding that timing's pretty important with that. But if you do a iframe like within a second of any of those charge skills, it's animation canceled. And
Yeah,
that's really important.
The animation cancels are super forgiving compared to other classes. You have a pretty large window. Sometimes I'll do it by accident. I'll be like dashing to a next pack and I'll do shift right click and it's like, oh wow, that still worked. I dashed, half an hour ago.
I'm fairly certain that this is going to be a decent entree to me playing DK for season 3. I've always wanted to actually play DK. But I've always been like, iframe class. DK's always been in a weird spot. But now that it's getting buffs every single week, I've always really liked the style of DK if I was to ever play an iframe class. So I think I might do that season 3.
Do you guys think that it builds hype to release new classes with a pre-awakening only?
No.
I personally enjoy it. I don't think it's good necessarily for hype, but I think it's good for stretching out the content because the hardest part is keeping us with something to do. That's their hardest thing to have us, because since the players can't create content in PvP really well right now, we're left to developers to create content for us. And I think stretching out that content allows, I think a better way of doing it though, instead of what they're currently doing is release Succession and Awakening at separate times. And they released them at the same time for Korea and will probably release them for the same time for us as well. And I think that's a mistake. I think they should do
it. I wish that they would do Succession on day 1 and then Awakening 2 weeks later, or
I can see
3 weeks, or whatever the window is. I feel like it almost reverses the hype train, releasing classes the way that they do it now, because you log in and like I have so many people come into my stream and they're like, "How's the new class? How's the new class?" And the only thing I can really tell them is like I don't know, dude. Come back.
I cannot. I
can give you a shitty first impression, but I can't really say anything meaningful about the class yet.
How's the class? Like, oh gosh, you're like the 500 person. I'm sorry, you're gone for a day.
And so in Xbox, it made sense. But I remember the people were fucking furious. Even like the journalists and stuff were like, Xbox BDO comes out with missing 3 years of content, But when everybody else has their Succession and Awakening, this isn't like a tutorial for the class. It's literally just gimped. So I don't like it and I don't get it. I think you said it earlier, Moreland. It's an archaic way of doing things that just doesn't translate anymore.
So I think it ultimately doesn't matter what Pluralist thinks because the majority of the player base wants something to do with the Succession or Awakening day 1. And I think the way to appease that is what you said, Succession day 1 and then release the Awakening 2 weeks later. It offers both solutions, right? You get to stretch out the content and you get to keep people happy. Because I personally, if I was my personal preference, I would just make it stretch out the content. I don't really care personally. But there's enough people in the community who do care that I think they need to change their policy on it. I do think they need to change it.
I'd be way more excited to grind this class in a much more meaningful way if I knew I could be competitive when I did it. So now I'm just taking my time because what's the difference? I mean, absolute skills help a little bit, right? But I don't know if I'm really going to be able to grind Hysteria with pre-awakened skills only, So I've got at least 2 weeks to be able to catch up, and it's kind of, it takes away from the hype for me. I may just get bored in 2 weeks and go back to my main account. I'm not going to, but if I wasn't doing this content, I almost certainly would.
So speaking of stretching out content, do you guys want to talk about season 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I think this is a good kind of crossover. I have really mixed feelings about the start of season 2. I got very excited when I found out that there was going to be an Arsha channel on day 1. I think that's way more exciting than releasing season 1 without an Arsha channel.
Did it live up to your expectation?
No. Here's why. Everybody has 600 Fugar crystals and 5 Bill and Kron stones that they use to just slam their gear to pin in the first 2 hours of the season. So I mean, it wasn't that bad. I still had a lot of fun with it. But the motivation to go out and grind really hard and catch up and get ahead of everyone isn't there at all. Because realistically, if I want that advantage, I just need to yank money off of my main and feed it and just slam pin Tuvala with Kron and be done. In the first day, there's no progression. The content isn't stretched out at all. I'm if I really want to win the race, so to speak, like the new server gear race, that thing that gets you hyped when a new MMO comes out. We don't have that for season right now. There's too many pre-season mechanics that you can bring in to just destroy your progression and make it meaningless.
Yeah, we talked about that last week with the Fugar crystals and how we thought that was a bad idea, and I think that just reinforces what you said there. These preseason events, like season needs to be either one of two things. Either it needs to be something that everybody gets to experience on all servers, season server, non-season, Olvia, all of it, or it needs to be this exclusive event where you get this curated feeling and you get this experience that you only get on the seasons. It needs to be one of the two. And right now it's like kind of half of both worlds. And I think that they need to focus on one or the other.
And it's really alienating for new players too, because you got these, players from other games that are coming in and checking out BDO for the first time with the season, and they think that it's a fresh start, and they think that they're going to be able to be on the same playing field as everyone else, and they go out and try some PvP, and they get literally fucking two-shot. Like, they have no chance. Even if they learn their class, they have no chance because they don't have the Fugar crystals, they don't have the fail stacks, they don't have the Kron stones, they don't have all this, the legacy of wealth built up that they can instantly transfer into their character's power on the first day.
Do you remember Jonah from Last Oasis?
Yeah, Jonah's exactly who I'm thinking of. I went into Jonah's channel the other day and I was like, hey dude, how are you liking the game? And he's like, well, I really want to try PvP, but every time I do it, I get fucking one tapped. And it's like, yeah, I mean,
welcome to BDO. Season server is the same as everywhere else, apparently.
it's not really a fresh start. Yeah, and like new players don't understand that it's not a fresh start until they go out and get one shot and they're like, okay, well, this is kind of dumb.
So, we talk about new players' experience pretty often. And to that end, I actually took it upon myself to start a new account. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Really?
So I did. And so I started on Arsha server, questing and leveling up and stuff like that. And as soon as I got to Catfishman Camp, there was a 300 DP Valkyrie just sitting there with a Gillion. And apparently they knew who I was, so they left me alone. But he was massacring everybody else. And I'm like, I tried to hit him, and I'm like, nope. I had like 96 AP or something like that. I have no books. I have no HP. I've got
spot
nothing.
taker, bro.
Nothing beforehand. And so he let me grind, but he was just, it was just like Modern Warfare 2, no Russian. You know what I mean? And there was plenty of that. I moved on to Calpheon and Trent, and Snake was there. And, it was, I didn't have a chance, right? I didn't have a chance. And I'm like, this sucks. This is not fun. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, now I have to go fight for my mobs either on Olvia, which is relatively clean and open right now, or just grind over top of each other in a season channel to get a couple of time-filled Blackstones. And so I ended up bouncing between that. And then off stream, I'd go to Arsha after day one, and a lot of those idiots were gone. So it's a little bit more competitive. I noticed that Moreland was at Fogan's with roughly my gear and having competitive fights for the most part. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll go over there and see what happens. And now
it's rough. I did okay at Nagas, but Fogan's, I got my ass beat 9 out of 10 fights and no chance. Yeah, I couldn't even get people to have health. Like, I was just completely outgeared.
So I found myself recording some of my enhancing stuff for my day 2 video that I did. And I was getting really hyped for getting Ultra gear because it was all brand new progression for me. And I'm rewatching my footage as I put it into my video and going, nobody's going to be excited for me getting Try. So now I'm like, I have to hit my gear to Tet just to see what happens. And I ended up getting Tets. But it's as a kind of a new player experience, it's extraordinarily discouraging how much gear you can bring in. I find myself having an abundance of stacks. The first time I enhanced, I had 20 stacks and 20 something 15 stacks and a couple of 60s and 50s and stuff like that. So I didn't feel like I was really at a disadvantage with enhancing materials or anything like that, because you get so much from the battle pass, from the quests, from all the new player stuff that you get. So you're really well taken care of, especially in a seasoned character, getting to that point at 56 and being competitive. But because I'm a Hashashin, I don't have Awakening or Succession to really have the kit fully fleshed out or having the damage to be able to compete in PvP against an Awakened Valk or something like that. Also, who the fuck buys a Gilly day 1 for their season character? There was like multiple.
Dude, there would be way more if Hashashin doesn't have a Gilly yet. You realize that?
I know,
imagine how bad it would be if it was out for the new class too. They fucked up by not having it ready for the new class.
That should be a day 1 edition. Make it put on Sullivan. Put it on Sullivan and just expedite it.
How does the desert ninja not have a desert Gilly day 1?
I know, right?
This shit was
that seems like a
hella
major fuck up. Actually, now I think about it, that
this shit was hella rushed, and that's
the
the proof right there. Also,
Oh my
why
gosh.
can't we get a code on the weekends for more time-filled Blackstones? Is it really like nobody's just at the office to change the 3 to a 4? Nobody can remote in or something.
Yeah,
Oh.
give me more free stones. I got to catch up with all these Pen Tuala players.
Well, I thought that was an interesting way because you can still do season 1 quests through Fugar. I remember us discussing how they were going to give us the free daily shit, and it turns out that it's going to be a code 5 days a week, which is fine. But I like the daily
You get loot
Fugar
scrolls now too.
quests.
I
Did
like
I?
it. You got loot scrolls for day 3. I'm wondering if you're going to continue doing that.
No, I did. I have 18 loot scrolls.
So one thing I'm curious about is this something that a lot of people aren't talking about, but you can make a lot of money on season servers, because there's supposed to like Hex Sanctuary, the 190 spot. You can abuse, get like 300 of the time-filled Blackstones and stuff per hour. You can go to like Schultz Guard, and instead of being like 125 mil an hour spot, it's like 170 mil an hour spot for seasons. There's a lot
Why is
of
that?
and like Pilaku is like apparently also like a really, really top end spot. What do you guys' thoughts?
Just because of the time-filled Blackstones? So you'd have to be getting like 500 an hour to make it that big of a difference.
People are getting about 300 at some spots, is what I'm hearing. I'm just kind of
Jesus.
curious if like and on top of that, you can use them for enhancing for like additional profit, and so that you're
With
basically
loot
getting
scrolls.
you're basically just getting free extra profit on it all. Anyway, I'm curious what you guys think about it, and like
I don't think people are getting 300. I've got maybe with a yellow loot scroll. No, I mean, that wouldn't affect your time filled though. Like people are getting 300 time filled Blackstones
Yeah.
at Schultz.
not Schultz.
Show me your boobs!
People are getting that at Hex Sanctuary.
We'll see. I'll have to test it out after the podcast.
Yeah.
Flag up.
You know how people like to make up numbers in this game.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not playing season, so I can't verify. But I was just curious. And I mean, even if it's not that, like, what do you think about it just affecting grind spots and making it more profitable for doing that? Do you think that's something that's fun?
I mean, I think if you're getting 150 time filled Blackstones an hour, that's an extra 15 mil, basically. You can maybe make a little bit more than that if you're converting it into stacks and you know how to use those. But I mean, I don't think it's like a problem.
Oh, right, because you can turn them into 40 stacks, right?
Yeah.
That's how we're calculating that this is more money.
Well, no, you can also vendor them. So 100 stones is 10 mil.
I didn't notice that.
I think.
I don't
right?
give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Anyway,
it's fine.
I'm really curious about learning a little bit more about it. I was wondering if you guys had heard anything about it, because obviously, like my side of it's just secondhand information. So
You're not
300
playing
sounds made up
seasons
to me.
again?
Yeah.
I have a Hashin. I'm going to get up to level 61 for the the weapon exchange coupons, and then depending on what I hear back from the getting to fail section stuff, I might invest a little bit of time into that.
I have 107 cocoa leaves. How many do you have, Marlon? Have you finished your battle pass thing?
No, I need to make a try to Vala ring.
That's where I'm at, and I have 107.
You can get 70 without the season pass, just a free, and you can get 115 if you have the Black Spirit pass.
We got bad information on that.
We got super bad information on that.
Last week we thought it was like 75 with and like 40 without or something like that, and then they start crapping out of the level up box, and all of a sudden the weapon exchange coupons are actually free. So we need to apologize for our bad information last week and let you guys know that if you want the weapon exchange coupon pack, it seems that it is free and you don't need to use a Black Spirit pass to acquire it.
Yeah, the way that works is you get 20 level up cases as you're leveling up. That gives you 40 cocoa leaves by itself. And then as you're going through the free version of the season pass, it gives you a additional 30. And then the paid Black Spirit pass gives you an additional 45, I believe is what it is.
So maybe I do DK on my main account since I was looking forward to doing that anyway. and then just get free weapon exchange coupons, so I can roll off a Guardian and that thing can get buffed all over again.
Please
You gonna
no.
go suck DK?
Definitely. That shit looks super fun.
Yeah, it's been up and coming. I think it's a low-key overpowered class at this point.
Back in the last version of Aftershock, we had a suck DK that was just nasty, really hard to deal with. She was pretty geared, but it just looked like fun. It just looked like fun.
Yeah, it looks super fun and super annoying.
Yeah.
Annoying is half the fun.
Did you guys try the 1v1 arena?
I have not yet. I heard that they put it in an inconvenient spot.
What do you mean?
Like basically they put it in like the side arena beside like the potion vendor. And
Who
so
gives
it's
a
like it's like I don't know. I heard that was an inconvenient spot. What was it? I think
Did
overall
Karen tell you that?
That's the weirdest complaint of all the things to complain about the 1v1 arena. The location within battle arena is the.
I mean, obviously
that's
that
what
we
we're gonna get upset about?
already addressed that it doesn't have a leaderboard, and that's something that people are aware of. But I mean, I don't know. I think my biggest thing for it is I think the queue system, you have to stay in place for the queue system. And I think if you could leave and then it just gives you a prompt when you're ready to queue in, I think that'd be pretty cool. You could just change servers, plop in, and you're ready to rock and roll. Or maybe just PvP around the arena at the very least.
So I don't think this is for us. I think this is a tool for them to create content within the game, right? So Cacao Games will have like some partner tournament or something like that, and then Pearl Abyss will likely do the same. Instead of just using the Arena Varsha or whatever the case is, I think we're going to see them use these as tools for content. I don't know if it's really for us, even though a couple of people might do it like Yellow and Skirmish and stuff to hold some tournaments, and it's a way to do it that may be a little bit easier than AOA and all that, but I don't really have like some strong opinion towards it. It's a thing that's going to be used by some people to make some sort of content, but then it just kind of gives you the idea and reminder that they should be doing a ranked arena system a la BDO Mobile. So that's how I feel about it. I don't give a fuck where it's placed or how easy or hard it is to get to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that it's too small, so I get that complaint. Maybe that's what people mean by that it's placed in the wrong spots. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know what's so hard about just adding a ranking system. Just use the one that mobile has. Don't even need to come up with any new development or anything. Just copy and paste that shit into the PC version. That would be fun. I would love if there was some kind of leaderboard, some way to really test yourself against other people who like to 1v1 and are climbing the same ladder as you. Right now it's all, like you said, it's all just community driven. If we decide to host an event and invite our friends, then that's cool and all. But I think it would be way more impactful and way more motivating if there was actually a ranked arena and we could grind and progress and try to be at the top of that.
Yeah, so basically I went over here to the one arena just check it out in person. And basically where they have the little potion vendor, they had a little side arena there. Like literally 80% of that is now the 1v1 arena, and you have this little small part that's left over. So it's kind of this, it looks awkward, I guess is the best way of putting it. It seems fine, the position seems fine, but this just looks awkward because the other geometry nearby doesn't match up properly with the layout. But yeah, there's people here doing it right now. There's actually like 10, 20 people here. They're just hanging out.
I didn't realize I probably just leaked the BDO partner 1v1 tournament. I'm excited to participate in it though.
Oh, I didn't know we were having one.
Yeah, check the BDO partner Discord.
Maybe later.
It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. This whole thing's a joke. I'm a joke. Everything's a joke.
I actually like the idea of the 1v1 arena. I think it's going to be a good. I mean, basically, people have been doing King of the Hill for a long time, and now we have an official way of doing the King of the Hill, and I think that's kind of nice. Maybe it's a step in the right direction. Maybe 5 more steps when we get to 1v1 arena, ranked arena. But I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's a start. It's definitely a start. So T1 Node Wars.
This is what I wanted to know about because they made some good changes here.
We've had a chance to actually have a few wars now. My take on this is, as far as the new brackets go, I think that they're mostly fine. I'm still not convinced that things are capped properly.
What did they
and there
change
needs to be some
exactly?
more. They just changed the DP and AP brackets so that they're overall lower. Like the amount of AP and DP you can bring into T1s is lower than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 7% or something.
And what did that change?
Yeah, they also cap damage reduction percent so that you can't benefit from having a bunch of DP over the cap. Although, like I said, I think there's still ways that you can get around that that they need to look at, and you can still do things like human damage and special attack damage and things like that to also get around the caps. So I think there's still some work that needs to be done, but the new caps, if they can get them working properly, are pretty good. The thing that kind of ruins it for me is this weird ass HP dropping mechanic that they added, where the longer the war goes on, the lower your HP pool is. So in the second half of the war, you're walking around with 2/3 of your health, and it's like, it looks weird. It feels weird. The time to kill becomes way too fast. It's all about like iframes and burst damage and running away. It's so weird to have a different meta in the first part of the fight versus the second part of the fights. It's almost like you're playing a different game.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to like switch classes halfway through. It's very strange and just not fun and doesn't fit into any other part of the game. I don't know why they are so fixated on adding these weird gimmicky health mechanics and having different types of combat for open world and for node war and for siege and for red battlefield. Like I don't understand what the goal is behind any of it. It makes no sense to me.
Well, I mean, I think part of it is they just want to, instead of just balancing, because they just want to, that's what it really needs. It just needs balancing. You know, respawn timers need balancing, APD needs balancing, that kind of stuff. Instead of just doing balancing, you know, because they're afraid of nerfs, because nerfs make people mad, they just want to do everything in the game possible but a nerf. And in this case, you need to nerf respawn rates, and that would be the proper change in this case to as the time goes on. But
they just decreased respawn
which is
rates.
the opposite of what needs to happen with it. You know, as they start off, they need to be short, and then as they get longer, as you get longer into the fight, if you want the fight to end, you just increase the respawn timers to where everybody just doesn't respawn, and whoever is left standing defeats the other people. You know, that's effectively what this happens, right? What this does by reducing your HP is that people die faster, so then you have more people dead, and ideally it would end the node war faster. That would be what would ideally happen. But I just think they're afraid to nerf anything. And then, you know, if you look at like some of the things that they've been doing for like world bosses, there's apparently going to be like a Nightmare Zarka, and instead of just fixing Zarka's balancing, they're doing this weird mechanic to it. You know, instead of just fixing the balancing of Red Battlefield, they do this weird mechanic. And I think this is just some trend where they're just afraid to actually balance something because it includes nerfing. That's my two cents on
connection to the world bosses, but yeah, I do agree that like as far as nerfing people's HP but then buffing respawn time, it seems like they're doing two things that are the opposite of each other, and it's like they can't make up their mind of what they actually want a node war to feel like or what they want the pacing of a node war to be.
Lot to unpack here. So I want them to leave HP alone. Nothing really scales, or every time they touch HP, they literally just make everything worse every single time. The overall tankiness and stuff when I'm at 5k HP instead of 6600 is fine, but the deceleration of it or the degradation of the HP doesn't make a lick of not again.
He's currently trying to power the whole state of California. Give him a second.
Just hold on to your headset, man. It doesn't make any sense to me. And exactly, right? So we've got every form of PvP, open world, siege, node wars, RBF, all of it. It's all different. And for like almost no reason. And so I don't know if they do have an idea of what they want the pacing in PvP to be in BDO altogether. And they're doing a lot of changes to this game right now and stuff. But I think having T1 HP be capped and then lowering the HP as time goes on is an answer to a question that nobody asked.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, it's like every time they do some change for Node War and Siege, it's like they fix one thing and then they break a second thing, and they can't just fix the one thing and just leave it the fuck alone. They always have to break the second thing in the process.
I was in Siege for 3.5 years with no break whatsoever, unless it was deathly ill, and even sometimes I'd keep going. And I've been out for 3 months, and I'm every once in a while I'll be like, yeah, maybe I'll see what's going on in Siege today. But I just absolutely have no desire to even touch that anymore, because it's so different and far gone and weird and changing, and they're not paying attention. They don't actually care about it. So I'm just like,
What do you think would be? What do you guys think would be a good change to make it where to prevent the new players from fighting tier 4 in siege guilds? Because right now people lose a siege region and then they go and immediately place on a tier 1, which does not seem correct in my mind whatsoever. What kind of changes do you think they could do to potentially either encourage high tier guilds to stay high tier, or to prevent them from being low tier? Like, what do you think should possibly
They need
change?
to make non-T1 Node Wars fun. That's the solution.
maybe more exacting is the caps that they have in place. Instead of changing them, they should have made what they had in place already actually work. And then, so when Corrupt, we fought Corrupt a couple of times, and no, when Corrupt takes a break from Siege and comes to T1 Node Wars, it's not that big of a deal. T1 Node Wars, T1 guilds, for a large part, know how to Node War and do their shit. But there's some gear squish or Kaffir's level or something that wasn't working. And so their answer to that wasn't enforce what was already there, but change everything. And so I say just roll it all back to what it was, but actually make it what it was supposed to be. And then you don't have to incentivize or disincentivize. If a siege guild wants to take a week off, the incentive of not doing that is a week off of siege. You can't qualify for siege. So you just make a decision. You know, are you going to play siege this week, or are you going to take a week off? You're going to take a week off, then all that gear that you have doesn't matter, and you got to play at equal footing. Well, it turns out that that's a really fun way to play BDO. I don't think you need to do anything else. Siege is extremely important to siege guilds. Extremely important. I know that sounds obvious, but
well, my thing is, if you don't take a tier 1, then you can basically place as a siege guild on a tier 1, and then the very next day you can just go for a siege guild again. You know, take your tier 4 and then go take a siege region, and there's no hindrance there. You know, there's like a tier 1, tier 4 siege, and you can do that in 3 days. And I just feel like that's really, that's not. There needs to be like a progression, like a leaderboard. You know, there needs to be a I feel like the top end guilds,
they could lock you in. Like, if they could make it so that if you participate in a T1 at all, you're locked into T1s for that week. They could do that. I haven't seen it be like a huge problem that there are all these siege guilds doing T1s. To me, it feels like siege is just dying, and T1s are the only fun large scale PvP left in the game, so everybody's doing it. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. The gear caps are there to keep these guilds from being super overpowered. Obviously, they're still going to have advantages in terms of practice and organization, and they've been playing the game longer. But I don't know, like T1, some of these T1 nodes will have 15 guilds on them. So, you can always just team up and take out Black Rose or whoever, whatever siege guild is there. And that does happen. Like, you can Zerg those guilds out.
I guess my question is, why are those tier 1 guilds not moving to tier 2s? And it's not because they don't want to take tier 2s, right? Like, what's the reason? Are they're getting squished by
tier 2s aren't fun, yeah, and they don't have the gear. I mean, like the time to kill and protected area and all the other shit that you have to deal with in a siege, it's just not as fun. The PvP is just straight up not as good. And a lot of them are, they're more casual. They're more PvP minded. They haven't done as much grinding or whatever. They don't have the gear. They just want to hop in and do some PvP with the boys. Like, they're not trying to be 700 gear score players. So it just doesn't make sense for them to go for a T2. There's not really a reward, and it's not as fun, and they don't have the gear for it.
I guess makes sense. Yeah. I feel like that's if Prolix can figure out how to answer that, and how to encourage, make that the tier 2s more fun. whether that be adjusting protected area or whatever. That needs to be what happens next. Because I feel like that's the next step, right? Figure out how to make if tier 1s right now are getting close to being where they should be. Then maybe after reverting the HP change they made this week, which was ridiculous, then start looking at tier 2s. How can we make tier 2s something that's advantageous? What would bridge that gap between Siege?
We've been having
stuff?
that discussion for 2-3 years now. I mean, the scene has just been slowly dying. Like, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what to say at this point. That hasn't been said a million times.
I guess the way I see it is you had Siege guilds that got bored because they only got one fight a week, and they went to tier 4s, and they killed everybody at tier 4s, then went to tier 3s, then they killed all the guilds at tier 3s, then went to tier 2s, and then now the only place left is tier 1s.
No, not really. I mean, they purposely dropped down to tier 2s so they can farm people who are under geared because it's fun to play Dynasty Warriors and 1v20.
So as a Balanos Serendia guild, right, a non-castle guild, the schedule was get a really easy fight at Akhman Node or something out in the desert, so you could get yourself qualified. We never did T1s because I was terrified that somebody was going to troll us and make us like win the node or something, or one of my idiots would go finish off a base when we didn't want to. So we completely stayed away from tier 1s. But we would get a T3 or 4 in the desert, and then we'd do T2s, either 30 mans or 50 up to 55 mans for the rest of the week, because the castle guilds basically did 3s and 4s. Most of the 4s, like the 100-man 4s, were non-contested, but that was before they squished all the node wars together. And so it wasn't like the T4. There's no T4 guilds. Those don't exist. T3 guilds are generally the castle guilds, and back when I was doing it. And then you'd still find Black Rose. Black Rose did 30 mans on T2s almost every single day. So that's how it went. And that's where this entire conversation spawned. Is there's always been these weird T2 guilds that I don't even know why they play the game at that level. It makes zero sense to me. But all of a sudden they had this community that may or may not have been good from our perspective, but it was there. And then Black Rose is showing up and destroying them every single time unless there's enough people there to zerg them out. And then nobody really wants to zerg somebody out. So then they start getting on the forums and Reddit and stuff going, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. And then that forced everybody down into T1s. And as it got more exposure through streams and Siege guilds going to it and stuff like that, it's really just the best version of the game. So what they were trying to do with last week's or a couple weeks ago's patch was try to find the magic of that T1, but allow more gear into it and bring it into T2. So it still has that, it's just an upgraded version of T1, but it sounds like it was a massive swing and a miss, because 3s and 4s are for Siege guilds, and they need to stay uncapped in the way that they are, I think, for the most part.
I wanted to bring up this real quick. They made an update to Global Lab, and we'll talk about Global Lab later, but this is actually pertinent to the conversation topic right now.
I just did a 5-minute dissertation to explain to you exactly how the node system works. Can you respond to that, please? We're having a conversation.
Well, I agree with what you said, I guess. I don't know. I'm not as knowledgeable as you. I can't talk about the subject because I'm not knowledgeable on it.
Okay. Well, thanks, Tim. Now I get it.
I think it's a good explanation. I wanted to bring this up though because I think this can relate to the topic. Basically, what they did is added 5 guild skills to the game.
Finally,
I'm on the wrong page still.
So like new passives or what?
It's new abilities you can cast.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually like you can actually use them. Like one's like resurrect your entire guild, one's like heal your entire guild.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's
just what we needed.
There's 5 of them though, and I wanted to pull them up because I think that I want to know, because I'm not a professional on Node Wars, what you guys thought of this. Well, since we're talking about the Node War topic right now, it makes more sense to talk about now than later.
Dumb and unnecessary. The game has the best combat in the genre. They need to stop doing gimmicks, stop adding bullshit, stop adding Trina axes, stop adding guild skills. Just let us play BDO in a way that works. Like, I don't know, man. I don't need any of the new shit.
Yeah, so these are the 5 skills here. Gather everybody to your base. That's 1. Has a 5-hour cooldown. Let's see. Remove the waiting time for resurrection, so you can resurrect everybody immediately. Everybody can resurrect immediately based on a call. Instantly recover all your guild mates' health. They can recover back to full HP. And then those are all 5 hours apiece. So those are like once per node war. And then these are 30 minutes apiece, which is, I think, even more potentially impacting. Recover 200 HP every 3 seconds for all guild members for 1 minute. Which is a huge increase because that's going to be 4,000 HP.
How much is it?
It's 200 HP every 3 seconds, and it lasts for a minute.
I mean, that's just an extra health potion. That's not
Yeah.
that big of a deal. You're still gonna die. That's gonna do basically
Yeah.
nothing. That might help a little bit in T1s, but that's not gonna make any difference.
And you can use that every 30 minutes. So you're going to have Shy, and you're going to have this, and you're going to have potions. So you're going to have 3 of them running at the same time. It's going to be 600 HP every.
That's literally nothing, dude.
Yeah.
That's literally 200 every 3 seconds is actually nothing.
But that's one of the guild abilities anyway. And
unless you're in a T1, you don't survive an engagement. You either kill them or they die, and then you either get heals or you don't. Like that. That's a brain dead guild skill.
And then the other one is 20% movement speed for 1 minute.
Oh, so you can hold W. I love this. I love holding W in large scale fights.
Well, hold on. DK just got a move speed buff.
Oh man, DK is gonna be zooming. Wait, dude, does Hashashin's Desert Sprint work during Node Wars? He's gonna be super fast in Valencia nodes now.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna be just going zooming, man.
This game's broken now. So the thing that makes me roll my eyes the most about guild skills, and I'm gonna say this every time guild skills come up, is that in order to use guild skills, you have to hit G, go to the guild skills tab, and then find your skill and right click it.
Yep.
You can't put it on a hotbar, and that is the dumbest thing and one of the most low-hanging fruit things about guilds in general. Is I would love to use these intimidating force, ignore all debuff resistance and stuff. It's a like a hour, 30 minute. It's a 30-minute cooldown. You should just be able to pop that. But you can't. And then only the GM can do command to gather, and pulling up your guild window and clicking that when you're diving in the middle of a base is the fucking worst. So
yeah, and I mean, I would never make a macro for that because that's against the TOS. So
the one thing interesting, command to gather has been made where you cannot use it if you have it you can't use it on a server where you have a base. You cannot have so command to gather is being removed from PvP as a something you can use. Yeah, because and this is a translation. So, but it says here, in addition to gathering order of battlefield, the existing gathering order has been changed so that it can be used only on servers that do not have a base battle. That's the exact translation. So I would assume that means you can't use command to gather on any server with a node war going on or a base built on a server.
So command to gather is just supposed to be used outside of wars, and the new skill is supposed to be used inside of wars, and this is how they prevent you from using 2 CTGs basically.
Well, the new one also a gathering exclusively for base wars occupation can be used only during base wars. Like I guess that's basically what they're trying to do here. And it's unclear with the translation here if it teleports you to the base or if it works like just like a regular command to gather, but it's only red battlefield. Or I mean, only node wars.
So it's only for GVGs and con now, CTG.
Which I think is interesting because that means you could basically do a CTG, beforehand or after the war, and those will be separate. So you can be like, hey, CTG me back out of Valencia to some other place, So.
Yeah, I mean, they have the function to return to where you took the fort teleport already. But yeah, I guess now if you don't have to like not use your CTG in the war if you want to use it afterwards or whatever. It's not that big of a deal, but I guess it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, anyway, I want to bring that up because that seemed relevant for the topic of...
It's a big change on Siege. That's a big... That affects Siege massively.
Mm-hmm.
Is the new CTG only defensive? Like it's called to your base? It's not called to the
I don't
GM?
know based on the translation which it is. It could be just like a command to gather that's just the same as the regular, or it could be one that's only for your base. I'm not sure which it is based on the translation.
If it's only defensive, that's a massive change for Siege specifically.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up in some
interesting
Discord.
because you couldn't like CTG could only be used outside of castles before. So if there's a new skill that allows you to summon people back to base, the castle holder now has like a defensive CTG option that they didn't have previously.
I could sandbag even harder. We might bring Aftershock back.
You can make this go all 4 hours if you want.
We did it a couple times in 3 weeks in a row, actually.
Anyway, I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm curious to see how that shakes out.
Odalita?
Yeah.
Wait, honorable mention to them changing the caps on Mercs for Node Wars yet again,
And not
still,
Siege.
and still being completely uncapped in Siege. Just in case anybody wants to think that Pearl Abyss or Cacao Games or anybody else that has an ounce of fucking influence listens to this podcast, that is proof that they either aren't or they don't fucking care about Siege. Pick one.
So explain a little bit for people who might not know what's going on with there, what happened.
Oh, okay. So in Node Wars, you can either not have war heroes or it's capped. There's no unlimited war heroes. In Siege, at every territory, you can have 99 war heroes, which destroys guild identity. I'm not going through this whole spiel again.
Yeah,
Open up
okay. But anyway, it's toxic for the gameplay. Long story short.
Basically, everyone who's sieged for a long time has agreed there needs to be a cap on mercs, probably 10. And like everyone has agreed on this for a really long time, and they're still not doing anything about it. Instead, they're changing caps on Node Wars, which is not even nearly as big of a problem to begin with. Yeah,
the fruit is so low that it's been touching the ground and is rotted. That's how low that fruit is.
Yeah,
but Odalita, or as I say it.
Well, so what did we predict over and over again since April? As soon as Shadowlands got a release date, then Odalita would get a release date too. And look what happened.
I predicted last week that it was going to be the 21st, and they're coming out with it 2 weeks early. So good for them.
I guess it just shows that it's been ready for a very long time.
Very long time. Right, Korea?
Hope you guys bought your Kaffir stones.
These guys need to work really hard because they're going to have New World releasing, and they're going to have to release new content for New World also now.
Yeah. New World's such a big threat.
Hey, don't let them know any secrets, all right? All right, but it's coming out. They have 4 grind spots in Odalito. Basically, they added a new accuracy AP ring last week. It's going to be at the 250 AP grind spot. And there's a 270 AP grind spot. It's supposed to be a 2-man grind spot, I guess. And it's dropping an accuracy and AP belt. It's supposed to be the new best belt in the game, like, period, in the story. It's a little overtuned. What are you guys personally looking forward to the most? Looking forward to this new content, new grind spots?
Armor of the Dead God. I've had a C10 dim tree that I made months ago thinking this content was going to come out. Now I get to finally capitalize on all the money I wasted.
I still don't have one, so, you know.
You play such a weird version of this game, dude.
Oh yeah, I did get pinned base gloves this week. I forgot to say that.
Yikes. Redneck gloves.
Listen, I got a strategy, all right? I'm going to be grinding Ash Forest.
I got 10 gloves. Yikes. Fuck, I love you, dude.
Thanks, Roland. Love you too.
Congrats, Potion. Congrats, I'm proud of you.
So happy for it. Did you tap it or buy it?
I tapped it, actually.
Oh, wow, you did something exciting.
Yeah.
That came out. That came out wrong. That came out. I'm sorry.
We did it on 144 stack, and I croned it. They give me enough crons to cron it. I think I've croned it for free like 5 times now. And so this is eventually one of those free crons.
So you got free pen gloves.
I did. Amazing. I actually got free pin gloves. I got this fail stack for free. I clicked it a bunch of times for free. Got them for free.
That's the one thing I missed about. I'm happy to be back in the BDO partner program because I missed all those free cron stones they gave us.
Yeah, it's really impactful, honestly.
Did you guys ever actually give those costume codes out to your viewers, or did you just redeem them all yourself and turn them into cards?
No comment.
I- My channel just learned that there was free costumes given out.
So many free costumes in that partner program.
No, so I gave out. They didn't know that there was how many. They didn't know that there was 3 per. They all thought that there was 2 per.
Claim one for yourself. Hell yeah.
Yeah, because Emery told me that you couldn't. The same person couldn't redeem the same code twice. I said, so if I had multiple winners of different costumes, that'd be fine. He goes, yeah, just make sure you give it away fairly on your channel. I'm like, great, I'll give both of them away fairly.
Well
Yeah.
done.
I actually.
It's amazing that you're not still part of that program. I wonder.
Well, they invited me back.
He got reinstated after he made a brand new account and promised never do anything bad ever again.
So honestly, I think I took 3 over the 6 months that they were doing that because I was playing those classes and I passed. I told them first, like, hey, I'm going to take a couple, and I gave a few out to my moderators that have been working hard for free for a long time too, and he was cool with that too. So I tried to make sure that I was like up and up on that, but there was a lot of costumes.
I actually gave away all of them. I never took a single one of them. Truth.
Actually,
that's not entirely true. Actually, I got tired of giving them away, and so I stopped giving them away. I was like, "This is stupid. I'm tired of giving these away."
I think I kept 2 of them, but I don't remember who. They were 2 costumes I really liked, and I was like, "Yeah, this one's mine."
I kept the Succession Witch one. I fucking love that costume. I thought it was great, and I put it all over Twitter and stuff like that. And then I think I kept one of the Wizard ones because I was playing Wizard right before that, and I took a Warrior one. Those were the 3 that I took. Because Menace IX needed a costume.
Oh, yeah, I did let a lot of the codes expire. That's true. Someone in chat saying that I let them expire. I probably let like 15 of those costumes expire.
For as much as we asked for free stuff to give away.
I never asked for free stuff to give away.
This is true. I can verify.
Like the collective.
It takes too much effort to give free stuff away.
I just don't think the free stuff is the answer to the partner program. I think it's stuff like these Twitch drops. This was pretty good. So some of the stuff like events and, stuff like that. That's the kind of thing I wanted. I didn't really care about giving away free costumes.
How do you guys feel about the drops going to the non-partners this week?
I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, honestly, like the partner program needs to have some type of small benefit, and we got that. And then, obviously, for the betterment of the BDO as a whole, I think it's good that goes to everyone else. We had Tally. He's like one of the Twitch veterans, one of the oldest streamers on Twitch. Period, is streamed Black Desert because of it. And we have so many other people coming in to check it out, and that's just free advertisement for Black Desert at this point. I mean, maybe not free, but it's good advertisement for Black Desert. So I think ultimately that's a really good change.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of mixed on the whole drops thing. Part of me likes the fact that it's bringing in people from other games who might not necessarily stream BDO, but I also kind of feel like there's this weird incumbency that happens with drops where whoever the top 2 or 3 people are when the drops go live stay there, and any of the people who end up streaming later or the smaller BDO streamers don't really see the benefit of it. There's a weird way that it doesn't really spread out. But I mean, whatever.
I have been abusing that, so I will verify that is true.
People are saying Tally got paid, so I don't know if it was the Twitch drops.
Oh, but yeah, I do think that's like a really, really. I do think the Twitch drops are a good thing, but it definitely can be. I don't want to say abused, but it's like I don't know. There's ways you can take advantage of it in a big way. Like, if you're not the number 1 spot at the time or, whatever, then there's no way you can get there. Just that person just sits there, and everybody for Twitch drops, just go click on the first one. You got Twitch drops. All right, we're done. And they just lurk there. And it definitely feels like I can definitely see how that wouldn't be fair. And that's coming from the person who's been sitting at the top for the entire thing.
Yeah, who's been doing that, you piece of shit.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you got
I
gotta make hay while the sun is up.
Yep. Well played.
Yeah, true. You have any idea how many hours you've streamed the past week or two?
I have made about $600 off ads. It's been incredible. I didn't realize that was impossible until now.
Not what I asked.
Oh, what did you say?
4 figures. Damn, dude.
The
So, how many hours have you
hours
streamed?
streamed, I can pull it up real quick.
But thanks for telling me how much money you made off of the fucking ads.
Mm,
Well, that's all the time we have for this week, guys. Thank you very much for joining us for Nerds and Words episode 15.
over the last 30 days, I've streamed 259 hours.
Over the last 2 weeks.
So it's
over the last 30
$3
days.
an hour.
Let's see if I can make it the last 7 days. Last 7 days, I've streamed 69 hours. Perfect number.
Ha! Nice, dude. It's a lot. It's a lot of streaming.
But back to BDO. Vel got 2 spawns permanently. You think this is good?
No surprise. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm still not going to go to either one of them.
Same.
Yeah. Bell's heart doesn't drop, so I don't know why people go to it.
I think they should have just had 1 spawn and doubled the drop rate.
No,
Yes, then I would go.
Mm-hmm.
they should have 2 and double the drop rate.
Honestly, still not a bad idea.
It's we talk about this pretty often. Go to these world bosses, just for like 20 crons and 5 mil is, especially when you have to go all the way out there. I know you can just, like, I have an alt out there now, so that's like the only reason I go, but
I went to
stupid.
43 Vels and I didn't get anything, and so I never go to Vel anymore. That is, I had an ult out there dedicated for it and did the full thing. I was just like, yep, this is not for me. I don't think I told you.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I said I don't. It's hard to talk about Vel without bringing up Garmoth. I forgot to tell you guys. I think that I went to a Garmoth after because I haven't been since I reworked it, and it's still dog shit.
I thought we were actually gonna get some good
It's
news
a little
there.
bit better, though.
It's a 15-minute battle for 20 mil, and you have to run all the way out there, use your CTG, and if you're in a Node War guild, you're not using CTG for Garmoth.
I think
The
most people
GGs
have
are fun.
alts parked at these bosses. It's not much of a... Yeah, it used to be like you would journey out there and go kill the boss and get loot, and it was a big deal. Now it's like, okay, I'll switch to my alts and hit this thing twice and go AFK.
Yeah. So I don't like it.
I think they
I don't
need
care
to
about
make world bosses drop Caphras and solve our Caphras problems.
They did do that. They literally just did that.
They need to make it more than that's fine.
Well, it used to be like you get awakening boxes, and there was like secondary loot drops that mattered. So I guess introducing Caphras now solves that, especially now that we're in this massive, there's a hurricane coming, all the water's out of the grocery store. Panic that Odalita's coming out, but
I don't understand why they chose Caphras, like why they chose C10 for it. It seems so strange to me because like Caphras already had a very high demand, and it's not like it needed help to sustain that demand.
How else would they do it? Make you exchange 2 pins?
I mean, they can come up with something better. It doesn't matter to me. Maybe just get a whole bunch of Cron stones. That's perfect for pay to win, and it doesn't affect the Caphras market. I don't know. There's something they could do. Maybe exchange like a Vel's heart or a Garmoth heart or something that doesn't.
All of those ideas are so bad.
Listen,
Oh
you
my
put me on the spot right here. All right, I have to think on top. I got to have at least 10 minutes to think about a good idea.
it wouldn't be a Nerds and Words podcast without Potion Shop coming up with ridiculous solutions to problems that don't exist.
Getting multiple Garmoth
Caphras
hearts
selling out is a problem.
easier than getting some Caphras.
How many pre-orders do you have on your server? I'll check mine.
We all play on the same server.
All right, there's 1,900 pre-orders right now. That's at max price.
That's not even that bad. 1,900. Are you
That's
fucking
so
kidding me? That's
many,
literally
ridiculous.
nothing.
How many are
That's
supposed to
literally
buy
nothing.
them? It's they're
Bro, I thought you
basically
were
they're
gonna- I
sold
thought you were gonna say,
out.
like 60K. There's 2K orders. That's literally so easy. You'll get that in 10 minutes if you put an order up.
Oh, apparently on EU they're actually really smart. They have 12,000 orders up on EU.
So I think they need to raise some prices, especially since the per hour has gone up so much in this game. I think Caphras raising in price wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I think some of these market caps are a little too 2018.
Supposedly they're raising pin prices on Global Lab, yeah? Is
Yeah,
that a
they
thing?
did that.
That makes sense too.
I
How
didn't
much
buy
did
my
they
pin
raise it by?
crescent in time. Probably 30% like they did last time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's happening fast. Inflation, boys.
We're on a hamster wheel. It's what World of Warcraft. We might as well just go to Shadowlands.
That's why I tried buying all my pins. That's why I was like so desperate for all my pins and didn't focus on my armor because I knew they're going to raise the price of the pins, and I just wanted to be ahead of the curve on it. I got them all but my pin crescent, but
so
yeah.
I will say, okay, we'll wait till other games. Sorry, don't let me forget about WoW and Twitter.
Let's steamroll through a little bit more of this then. Events. Koi Boys is still active. So you got...
it is?
Yep, this is last week, Koi Boys.
Who cares? I'm dummy training my Hashishin.
Yeah, I'm dummy training too. Literally going the opposite direction.
Yeah, this one's awesome. 200% EXP permanently and 250 for season server. Pretty pog for leveling up your class of choice.
Why did they make it different?
To give people a reason to buy the Black Spirit Battle Pass thing and to play on the season servers.
Oh my gosh, we didn't talk about how bad that is. The Black Spirit Pass this time is complete. I mean, I guess technically the costume pays for the thing, but it's still this garbage.
Super good. It's not garbage at all. It's fucking insane value. What are you talking about?
What game do you play?
Wait. Are you guys being not sarcastic? I can't
Bro,
tell.
it's like $150 worth of shit for $17. What are you talking about?
Especially for a new player. I just did that whole dissertation about how I'm having a new player experience, and you asked me the question, what was the most surprising thing about starting a new account? How far my money took me because of the battle pass and because of the revamped package. By the way, 6 hours after I bought the $100 package, it went on sale for 12 hours for 50% off.
No, I think, are you including the stats of both of them? Because there's a free pass and there's the regular one, and I think people are confusing the two. Like the actual pass itself doesn't have like a lot of rewards in it. It has a few inventory spots, has like a costume in it, and then like the rest of the stuff is like piddly stuff. And the actual battle pass itself, the actual free pass gives you the most of the stuff.
I mean, it's still by far the best value for anything you can buy off the Pearl Shop. There might be some other starter packs that compete, but I doubt it.
They went a little lighter. They went a little lighter on it this time. I see where you're coming from, but yeah, I guess I was combining it in my mind, but it's still a no-brainer, especially for a new account. But I could see somebody skipping it if they're I don't know if I'd buy it on my veteran account, especially knowing now that I don't need it to get the weapon exchange coupons.
Yeah, like you get cocoa leaves, which don't matter. Like, I mean, I guess you can maybe get a second weapon exchange coupon, that would be worth it if you can get 2 of them.
What's the total number you can get?
50. It's 50 for getting 3 of the coupons.
No, with the battle pass though.
115. So you can get 2 sets of them with the battle pass, which that adds up.
Well, you can't get 2 sets. You can only claim them once. So you could get a set, and then you could get like 1 individual.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so then you get I guess 4 of the coupons total, which that definitely has some value there. And then you have the costume, but the rest of it is like a few inventory spaces, which is worth like maybe $10 or something. I don't know. I don't think the rest of it's really worth it. I think it's very subjective. Like you have to need what's in the battle pass this time, rather than because it's not something that if you don't need the stuff that's in the battle pass, then it ends up being you're paying extra. But if you actually need a costume and you like that costume and you need the coupon, then it makes sense for you. I feel like.
For let's say you bought the package, the $100 package, they give you 2,500 pearls. So within that $100, you get the battle pass stuff too, which is a maid and a costume. And so that makes that super efficient. So again, if you're a new player, I think it's worth it. If you're not, like a brand new player, I think it's worth it. If you're not, or you don't want a bunch of stuff from the cocoa leaves, then just take a pass.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally was looking at it, I didn't think it was really worth it. But I mean, I guess it's subjective, right? I guess there's like most things that these things are subjective and intentionally so that, you know, they're hard to put an arbitrary value to it.
I don't have it right in front of me, so I can't go line by line, but yeah, it seems like a decent deal to me.
How do you pull it up? I've never pulled it up before. I had to pull it up on the SCA server because
you have to be on a season character.
Right,
I just read it off to you. I read the major pearl stuff. Let's move on. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, 200% EXP is awesome. The rewards, they have a lot of leveling up rewards. You get level up rewards for leveling up a season character. You get Hashishin level up rewards. And there's like some other type of level rewards as you get as well. Oh yeah, season pass level up rewards, and then Black Spirit Pass leveling up rewards. It's like you can get 4 different types of rewards for leveling up your character on the season server this time. Not to mention creating Hashishin pre-creation rewards, and creating a season server pre-creation rewards. And we got Mysteries of Summer stuff. So the amount of like stuff we got this time is just off the charts for creating a character and then leveling it up. It's just I think I got some like 50 sharps and hards for it, like the entire thing, and I haven't even leveled up a season character.
There's going to be a bunch more when the Awakening comes out too. They haven't even done the 56 to 60 rewards for Hashishin yet.
True. Yeah.
Good time to start a new account. I can tell you boys that. I got 500 mil fucking instantly, dude. It was great.
What do you think of related to the Pearl Shop? They've put everything on sale in the Pearl Shop. Do you think they're about to increase the price of the Pearl Shop costumes?
They need to. I mean, we've been waiting for that for months now.
You think it's going to come out with Ordolito? I think it's going to come out with Ordolito. That's my guess.
I don't think it really needs to be tied to Odalita. And why do you keep pronouncing it that way? You're making me lose my mind, dude.
How do you say it?
When is Ordolito coming out?
Say it anything other than what you're currently
Ordolita.
saying here.
Odalita.
Look at the word and pronounce the letters, Potion. Look at the word
already did it. All right. You can talk me. Yeah. You got to talk me through it. Odalita. Odalita.
Nailed it.
Perfect. All right. Now let's move on. You think it's gonna come with? I think where they're trying to milk everybody for the new season, the new character, and then they'll milk everybody for the costume price, costume price with OT Lita.
Well, I could go for a good milking, so I'm down.
I've been looking forward to it though.
I think they're just gonna do it randomly. I don't think it has anything to do with Odalita. Didn't other regions get the costume hike? Didn't SEA get it like months ago?
I don't know.
It was about a month ago, I think.
Like
it seems like an independent thing, but they may tie it together.
Yeah, you usually bring new type of pay whenever they do new content. That tends to be when they do them. You know, when we got, what was it? When they gave us Valencia, they gave us Artists of Memories or Maids. Which one was it? And then they did the fairy with
during the
Sylvia.
Valencia era, but it didn't come out with Valencia.
And it gives new pets as well for both of those. They tend to like pair pay to win some.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very
If you want to do some sweet market speculation, you can pull a Micken and spend 50 bill on costumes right now, and you'll probably get a 50% increase on your investment when that patch.
You make so much money on that. So yeah, Hashin, they had a ton of login rewards for the events. They have Mercenary Challenge where you get another 100% EXP if you're on the season server, which has changed because Mercenaries Challenge has been a thing you got for a long time, but it used to be, what, 56 or under to claim it? And now you can claim it on any season character once per day?
There's like an extra one now that you can claim.
Oh, there's 2 of them now. Is that how it works?
So.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. So that means 300% for our daily grind. It's pretty pog.
What do these tornado skill XP tornadoes look like? I haven't used them yet. Have I just been ignoring them?
They look just like a Hashin ability. Yeah, exact same thing.
Huh. I wonder if I just walked by them like 100 times.
The only thing they have like a little name on top of them, like an NPC. That's the only thing. That's the only way you can tell the difference. Rewards for leveling season character. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then they have if you spend $500 in pearls, you get what was it? 2 loot scrolls or something like that. They have like some special thing. If the more pearls you spend, the more you get back. Let's see what that is real quick.
I think the interesting part of that is it's not buying them; it's actually spending them.
Yeah, in the past it was buying pearls, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I had them banked up in the past and just spent them during that event and got rewards for it.
It was buying them. I'm 100% sure. This is the first time they've had an actual spend thing.
So you get a maid for spending $100.
Sweet.
and then you get 22 artist memories and some crown stones for spending $200. And you get a 15-day Commissal Blessing and a Secret of Gold Moon for spending $330. And for $500, you get a free premium outfit costume and 40 artist memories. I really feel like this value here is missing somehow. I'm not seeing it.
Because it's not there. Let's move on.
All right. I think it's interesting, though, that they did it. Something to mention. That's it for the events. Are there any events that you guys wanted to call out in particular? Because there's an absolute crap ton of them.
I've just been pretty focused on leveling my hatch machine.
Yeah.
You know, they just give you stuff for playing the game during these times because population's up and stuff. And so just kind of is what it is.
All right, let's get to some interesting topics here. We have a new red battlefield map on Global Lab. It's apparently Garmoth Nest. What do you guys think?
I don't like the
cool.
I mean, yeah, we've been screaming for a new. I mean, the RBF map couldn't be worse the way that it stands. So, see how it plays out. You know, just the way you can get camped in your spawn and dropping down and stuff like that. So if that's still there and that's all the same, then it's just going to be another place that's shit.
Apparently, they're trying to add some type of mechanics to it, some like minor mechanics, like little sub goals you can go for or something.
Oh dear.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be primary goals.
Outlook. Let's keep a positive outlook. They're trying.
So I'm interested to see what that is. They were very vague about it. And then this is the big topic of the week is tier 10 horses. Holy smokes.
Do we have details on this yet?
There's one for every type of horse. So there's one for Doom.
Pegasus at first, though. And you need a male and a female. But that's all I know. I don't know what any of the new skills actually are. They just said new skills or multiple skills or some weird shit. Do we have any details? Anyone seen this on Global Lab?
Well, I'm personally about to make some T9s in Global Lab and then bring them together and see what happens. Actually, I think you get T9s for free. So maybe people have actually made them. I wonder. I haven't seen any information on it, though. I wonder what the odds are. I wonder if it's like, because the current T9 is so expensive.
You can get up to 100% chance if you spend enough materials, but who knows what that involves. You're going to be doing Imperial horse delivery to get the materials, so.
Didn't we already decide that T9s ruined horse training in general?
Yeah,
because
they
of
definitely did.
So now we're doubling down on the worst part of horse training.
Well, I mean, it's too late to go back, right?
I guess it's true. I thought what they should do is like tier 1 through 5 donkeys and Dream Donkey, tier 1 through 5 elephant and Dream Elephant, tier 1 through 5 chocobo thing from Kama Sylvia and then Dream one, tier 1 through 5 elk, and then you have a Dream Elk. They even have they already have a model for a Dream Elk. It's already in the game. Or maybe tier 3-1-5 camel and then a tier Dream Camel. I don't know. And it has 2 humps, so you have 2 sheets on it. I don't know. I don't know, something.
I think it would be cool if, like every other game where you can raise animals, there was an interesting system where you could breed the lower tier pets into higher tier pets with specific stats that you could then go for when crafting your T9 or your T10 horse. You could specifically get like a certain color or a certain speed set or a certain turn or whatever it is that you're going for. Kind of like how the game used to work before T9s came out. And then they just totally nixed that system and were like, oh, here, feed some fruit to your horse and it'll turn into a different thing. And the previous 8 tiers don't matter at all.
Yeah,
there's more than I was looking for.
I miss it. I mean, I don't do a whole lot of horse training, but I think like it added a large dynamic to the game.
Ton, dude. It was one of my favorite things to do in the game back then. Is like get the right color horse and combine them together. And you always got really excited when you got like a pure black or a pure white horse, because then you were going to use that and leverage the color stats on that horse to get the next tier. And it was like a whole progression that you would go through. And then once you got to T9, you can just use the ugliest, shittiest horse as the base for your T9, and it doesn't matter anymore because it's all going to get reset.
Mm-hmm. I definitely would like to see them bring it back to what it was, and I feel like instead of learning their lesson, they just charged right ahead, without... I don't know how you necessarily would bring it back, but, maybe there's there's something the option they chose was not the correct one. Like I don't think if anybody said, "What do you want in BDO for horse? For the horse life like training life skill T10s?" No one. That's not the answer.
I want T10s. I just don't want it to be an extension of the Dream Horse system, which was a total failure in my opinion. It was that the Dream Horse system is just clearly a cash grab. Like it was a way to sell crons and it was a way to sell skill reset coupons. It was not designed for fun. It was designed to sell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised with they came out with the statistics on how few people have T10 horses. I'm sorry, T9 horses, and I'm surprised with that being the fact that it is that they are doubling down and creating another tier already. I find that surprising, but I don't have a problem with it necessarily outside of horse training is extraordinarily pay to win. It's just this is a massive cash grab for them, which they're allowed to do, but I don't know. Playing a different game that you could just enjoy without worrying about, your real life financial situation was a breath of fresh air. And so the further you get into horse training, the more money it extensively costs. And especially since they took kind of the fun out of horse training, I'm just really not excited about all this.
Yeah, I feel in that.
I'm excited if it means my Pegasus gets to fly twice as far, but I don't know what the new skills are, so it's hard to say how excited I should be.
True. What else?
That was the most exciting thing for the global lab. We have a few other minor things. Max price of pins, we already talked about that. Lots of ocean changes. I completely forgot what these were. They changed a lot of stuff in ocean. You can now get like yellow gear for your boat. They added a new monster spawn spot over by Port Rat on the ocean. They changed some other things. I really just decided to summarize it all as there's ocean changes because it was just too much for me to keep track of. So anyway, if you're interested in ocean changes, go check out the Global Lab patch notes or wherever
they exist.
There's a lot of them, and there's something's happening. They increased the Medal of Honors that you get from Node Wars, so you get more of those now. So that's gonna be, I guess, better for trading those in.
Exchange those. I've never actually exchanged one of those. I think I just have a pile of them from whenever they were released until now.
I gave most of mine to Ryu the Red, who could never have a belt for some reason. So, hey, bro, can I do an aftershock? Yeah. Can you give me a belt every single week? I think I'm out, dude.
And then this is actually a huge quality of life. People have been asking for it for a while now. You can actually see the gear on your characters that you're not currently on. So when you go grab that little thing, you go to escape menu, and you can actually click on that. You're going to see your also your gear in there. So it's going to be a really, really good change. And that's it for Global Lab. Now on to New World.
Well,
Tim, take it away.
Games.
You want to do other games first?
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing. I guess we could start with New World. So it was actually, I don't know. So you want me to give like a post-mortem on the game, the preview?
Sure.
I've had to ban 2 people during this podcast from the guild that we were in war with, coming in to make fun of me or try to get under my skin or something. So we had a very big impression on the server. We had a lot of fun. I don't think we realized how easy it'd be to get into the PvP scene and completely dominate it. The game lacks content top to bottom, just top to bottom. It needs more weapons. It needs more things to do, especially at the end game. The PvP has potential, but there's definitely like fucky metas. We had our last fight a couple days ago, and it was just a bunch of idiots with staves creating bubbles. It was like shades of PA, and if we had enough hammer boys, we could have countered it, but it was a little lackluster there. That being said, I had a shitload of fun. I had a shitload of fun. And just having a whole new group of people to troll in global chat was excellent. The social interactions of massive groups working together and just kind of chilling in Discord, that doesn't exist in BDO necessarily outside of like Node War times. Mm-hmm. So again, the potential and going out and questing together as a group to unlock a territory to start a war in the PvP, that the kind of natural PvP that happens with that. There's a lot of good ideas there, but it definitely needs the time that they're allotting themselves. So the next preview is Alpha 3 in November, I believe. And I think we've picked up a pretty good core, and I'm probably going to play it even more than I did this time. And I think I sunk about 100 hours into the game. So I'm going to play a little bit more next time and probably troll just a little bit less. I didn't realize how much I'd like this game.
Yeah, we certainly made enough enemies. Tim made people in that game so upset that they were joining Among Us game. They joined my Discord to get the code for Among Us games so that they could join our Among Us games and swear at us in various languages like a week after we fought them in New World. Like, I don't know how much effort they're spending following us around in other games, but they were very affected by our time in that shitty little beta.
They made a video of me, like, because they beat us on our last war because we only had 20 people, because it was like the day the game was closing or something. And so we were gone for BDO seasons 2. Everybody knew that. And so this other guild was like, hey, come do our war. Come do our war. And then we show up. We're like, why the fuck would you go there? They're not going there. The fight's at our war. And, you know, this broad was like, no, Tim's full of shit and all this stuff. So I actually ended up getting more mad at our allies than I did at the people who were griefing us at grind spots. But that's a different story. But so then I checked Twitter, and there's like a video of me, because I may or may not have claimed that I was the second coming of Christ for New World a couple of times on stream.
I saw it. Yep.
Yeah. So they're in my Discord, they're in my chat, they're just coming out all over the place. I've never seen a group of people so upset over.
That reminds me a lot of original BDO. Your story there just reminds me of like first 3 months of BDO. Everybody just being like, Veritas taking over all the siege regions.
I put TTV in my name, and just all I had to do was kind of play the old Tim Allen character, and it just got under these kids' skin in such a palpable way. It was incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I didn't even know we were the second strongest guild. I just advertised us as the number 2 PvP guild. Just whatever. And then apparently there was a list, and we were. And then we took it seriously because we wanted to see if we could be number 1. And then we were. And that's pretty easy.
I think it'll be a little harder next test if we join a server that has people playing it. I was really shocked at how dead the test was overall. It seems like maybe they sent out a certain number of invites for the number of servers they had and thought that more people were going to play. But then in their blog post they said the opposite. They were like, wow, we really didn't expect for like Asmongold to play our game and for so many people. So it's like they were expecting less people, but I don't know how they could have expected less than what they had, because every single West Coast server was low population. There wasn't a single medium population server after like the first day.
I think this, as Amazon, they have Amazon servers, and so they just probably overdid the servers because why not? We have a bazillion of these things sitting around in the warehouse doing nothing. Let's just load them up. Make sure we have plenty of room. We'll make sure that lag isn't the problem. And maybe I think that's what they kind of went for, because I think the problem would be completely different if you had one server and everybody was crushed into the same one server. It would have been a completely different experience.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
It would have been. So I think next time around, we're going to have the Knoll guys join us. We made some new friends in-game that are going to hang out in the Discord, and I have a whole New World channel and role and stuff like that. So Aftershock should be probably capped with players day 1, maybe have 40 at the worst that are going to be serious about playing. So we should have continuing to stay competitive in this game should be a fun experience.
It's going to be a fun, fresh start game. I still think that the game has no content after the first 2 weeks, but if they just keep doing these betas that are 10 days long, honestly, that might be the most enjoyable version of the game. Kind of like what we used to do in Albion, where every time there was a new beta in Albion, we go super hard for a month, burn out, and then ignore it for 3 months and then come back for the next test. I feel like we can do the same thing in New World.
Keep postponing it for years on New World. Just keep rolling out little.
It's fun to play a new server and do the level rush and the gear rush and PvP and kill people who are under leveled and take territories and figure out all the secrets. Like, you get that new server buzz, but then the game just has nothing to do after that buzz wears off. So maybe the best thing to do is for them to just keep doing 10-day previews for the end of time.
Honestly, like if they just make small little iterations on it all, I think it could really go somewhere. Like the crafting system was really solid. I got into the crafting system pretty heavily. And but it was just undermined by the fact that you could do corrupted breaches and that you would get the best gold, the best EXP, the best faction materials, and the best when you salvage the weapons and everything.
The crafting stuff is the best stuff in the game. It's just that no one's gonna get maxed out crafting levels in a 10-day test because it's just not worth the time. Like you have to spend half the test getting by the time you get the top tier crafting stuff, that there's like 2 days left in the test, and who cares?
Yeah.
Well, we have a couple of people that want to craft next time around, and we're just gonna all dump our stuff to them straight away. So we can have access as soon as possible to those materials. So I think we'll get around that for next time.
I got you. I got you on something you need. I'll get you on it. Just let me know which one you want me to do. I got to 200 woodcutting on this server. I did that in like a day. I actually I like that. I like the crafting system is definitely my favorite part.
Yeah, but there's a lot of work to do on this game. There's absolutely no two ways about that.
I don't think 6 months is enough.
The blog post that they made didn't really give me a lot of hope, because they were talking about how, like, wow, we're so excited to bring you guys more weapons and more land masses and more quests, and it's like no amount of those things. I think I said the exact same thing last week, but no amount of additional weapons or land masses or quests will save New World in the long run. I think the devs don't understand the fundamental issues that the game has that are going to keep it back in the long run. So, I mean, after reading that dev blog, after reading really any of their dev blogs, I find myself getting more exasperated and less hopeful than I was before. I mean, starting with the beginning of this year, where they were like, we don't want player killing in our game. And so now you just have PvE griefing instead of PvP griefing, and just like predictable shit. And I don't think that they get it. I think that it's going to be cool to check out the new weapons, and maybe that'll add an extra few days of content. But in the long run, like, new weapons and new land masses don't save that game.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with that. Yeah, I think when you look at it, they're going to be a Guild Wars 2 that has a casualified Dark Souls combat. You're going to play through it. You're going to level up. Once you get leveled up, the in-game content is going to be this weird PvP, something or other, and getting a few pieces of gear that don't matter, and then that's just going to be it. And I think that's what they need to figure out, is what is that going to be in-game solution? Because if they don't, it's just going to be, like you said, it's going to be a 2-week journey, maybe 2 months for slower people, and that's just going to be, hey, it was fun.
How far did some of these major streamers get? Because I was watching Secretia for a bit, and he was playing super casually. So I'm wondering what, like, Asmongold's experience, like how far he got into the game.
Asmond got to 50-ish, I think. He went up to Shattered Mountain and killed the big bosses up there. I don't know if he did much PvP or sieging, but I saw him at least clear like end game PvE stuff with his crew.
He did some life skilling, then realized that life skilling was meaningless because you get more materials from savaging items from corrupted breaches than actually doing life skilling. And then he went and got some of the keys, and I saw that.
I just hope some of these major content creators took the game, somewhat close, took the game, did as much as we did, in our 2 weeks. So hopefully you get some sort of exposure that there really is no back end to this game in a way that these devs will be able to see. I don't know.
Supposedly Asmon's doing an interview with one of the New World devs. I think that might have already happened. So that could be really interesting to go and check out and see, like, if either the dev or Asmon has, an insight into where that game should go.
Well,
I generally don't agree with him on his opinions of MMOs, so I have a tough time with that. But
I think he has, at the very least, I know he thinks that the game is linear, and that is way better than the developers understand right now, from what we've seen in developer posts. But I think honestly, the developers have been taking really good feedback from the players, and the game has shaped in a positive direction because of that. And it may have taken them forever to get to a positive direction.
Really? Really?
I think but they're not listening to everybody feedback. They're listening to like a set of an inside group that they
Dude,
trust.
Player feedback 100% destroyed New World. Like,
Yeah.
no doubt about it. Them listening to the players is the reason why that game sucks and will be dead within a month. They listened way too much to crybabies on the forums, and they ruined their game straight up. Like,
I think
they need to have some conviction. That's what they need. They don't need more feedback. They need to grow a sack and have some vision and make a decent fucking game that they want to make, rather than kowtowing to all these fucking crybabies.
I agree with that, but I don't think they're capable of doing that. And so the alternative to, if you're not capable of doing that, is to get a select group of players who have a vision for their game and continue listening to the same group of players and not changing that vision once you're set on what the players want.
The only solution here is for us to bitch louder than the non-PvPers, to be honest.
I'm pretty loud.
Yep, I'm gonna make a video.
I'm thinking about making a video too.
Well,
I also want to point out that a lot of people were banned for behavior in chat, and I was not one of them.
I think that
That's
deserves
impressive,
like
actually. Yeah,
that
impressive.
deserves a medal or something.
I know where that line is, and I skirted it extremely closely. But I was vindicated by not being banned.
I heard you say cunt at least once on stream.
Whoa! The lack of evidence in this case is evidence.
Yeah, I hope New World does well. I don't think no matter what happens in New World, I don't think it's going to be the next World of Warcraft killer, but I do think it's going to be a fun journey for a month or two at most, and that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for happy little vacations from BDO, and it definitely seems like it's going to be fill that void.
It'll be a sick vacation. Yeah, it'll be super good for a few weeks, and then it'll be a casual let's hop on and siege once a week game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm totally down to keep going hard on these previews to see what happens, and then we'll go hard on the release a little bit, even though we'll have to probably sacrifice a little bit of the Ice World coming out in BDO because it'll be May 2021. We'll be ready for a new class and a new territory then. So
if there's a dwarf class, then I might have to play BDO instead.
There's almost no chance of that. Oh my god, I hope it's a necromancer along with everybody else, but yeah, can we talk about World of Warcraft? Yeah, we need a necromancer.
I haven't really kept up with it, so
go about World of Warcraft. Let's do it.
We need like a really skinny pale character that has a Slipknot shirt and long black hair that just raise skeletons from the ground, and there's like just really hardcore metal riffs coming out as he does that instead of like
that'd be so good, bro.
Stuff like that, like the metalcore.
I'm only for it though if they have good costumes. They don't have good costumes, I'm out.
Yeah, they got to get, they had Netflix and whatever Cursed, right? Why can't they get Corey Taylor and Slipknot for a costume for the Necromancer?
True, it would work.
If you're a 555, I'm a 666. Well, how does it feel to be a heretic? You know what I mean? We just get copy striked.
I don't think anyone knows what you're talking about.
Oh, come on. Somebody's got to love the Iowa 9. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about World of Warcraft.
So yeah, Shadowlands is on the way. What are they doing? They're doing some big things with it, right?
I want to know Moreland's perspective on this. Are you tempted to play retail again?
I'm okay. So the furthest I don't know about again, because I only played Classic and Burning Crusade. So I don't know any of the new WoW shit. I've seen it. I've tried watching streams of it. All I do is I bring up people's streams of modern WoW, and I just think, what the fuck is this like Candy Mountain acid trip of a UI? Like, I just can't. I don't know, dude. It doesn't seem that appealing to me. I really enjoyed Classic WoW, and I would like to, do some like AQ or Nax in Classic or play TBC when that comes out. But I don't know about all this new shit. I keep asking people what's going to make Shadowlands special, and like I feel like all the answers they give me only make sense to people who've been playing WoW for the last 10 years. It doesn't really make sense to me as someone who's not invested.
Interesting point. What about you, Potion? You never played much retail?
I played Classic on 15-day trials because it cost $1, and that's all I could afford as a kid. So I bought like 50 of those and just kept seeing how far I could get leveled up in 15 days. And then I think I actually got a subscription for a little bit in Burning Crusade. And then I was so lost because I had no idea what was going on that I just got burnt out. And then I actually took it seriously in what was it? The one that we added like the little town where you can build stuff. Warlords of Draenor or something like that. So I played that one a little bit, played a paladin, and I just couldn't get into it because basically you go to the first region and then you level up. You go to the second region, you level up. You go to the third region, and by the time you're to fifth region, you're completely leveled up. And I actually did all this, got all leveled up, got my gear, and then I was ready for the new expansion. And the new expansion came out, and I did the first, like literally the first quest, and it replaced my best pice of gear that I earned.
They do that every expansion.
Yep, and I was like, "Yep, I'm never touching this again." And that's just, I just hate that.
Yeah.
I played.
That's why I wish that with Classic, I wish they would have the option to port your character into Burning Crusade, but still keep the Classic servers running, so that if you have like a maxed out Nax gear Classic character, those Classic servers still keep going, and you, even though it's a dead end, like you could still keep doing Battlegrounds or whatever and like enjoy your Classic gear, and then you could copy your character over to Burning Crusade and play it on a separate server. I would love it if they do that, but I doubt that they will.
So it was right after college, and it was actually during college. Me and my roommate ran 2 separate guilds in Wrath of the Lich King. We played together in BC, played a little bit of Classic, but I wasn't really a super big MMOer back then. It was super casual. And then BC started getting good. And then we started running guilds in Wrath of the Lich King. He had his own guild. I left it and joined another one. And I ended up doing a hostile takeover with that guild, moving servers. And we ended up being on the same server, living in the same house, running 2 top US 100 guilds. So we were fighting for server firsts, which were only a couple other guilds on US had done it during Wrath of the Lich King. And then we did it a little bit during Cataclysm. And so I played through like Mist of Pandora or Pandoria or whatever that's called, and some of the other expansions. There was supposed to be one. There was supposed to be one expansion that was supposed to like completely change WoW, and it was gonna be this whole great thing where you got like your own little fortress or something like that, and it was total dog shit. And so I'm going through. So I've learned that lesson many, many, many times that an expansion comes out every 18 to 24 months for World of Warcraft. It gets all this buzz because it's World of Warcraft. And they're all always the same thing. World of Warcraft is successful because it's World of Warcraft. They're not going to change how they do it ever, or else there would have been a World of Warcraft 2 or something else. Instead of doing that, they went back, doubled down, and did WoW Classic. That's probably just going to run through the same expansions that came out forever ago, which is fine because that was the best version of WoW. Right up until Cataclysm. I know some people liked Mists, but that's okay. You're allowed to have that opinion. So I'm just surprised at the people on my Twitter and the people that I have, respect their opinions of, how just completely fucking stupid they get for World of Warcraft and just bite into this cycle of dog shit.
There's nothing else. I mean, we're doing the same thing with New World, man. That's the thing. Like, I can't judge WoW players because we're playing a less than half complete game too, and enjoying it. Like, there's just the whole genre is so starved. We're playing these games that are 1/10 of what they could be, and we're having fun because that's all there is,
Mm-hmm. It's just what what kind of shit pile you want. You get to pick your flavor. That's really all it is. I mean, I suppose as far as like tab target subscription based MMOs, WoW is probably the best version of that. But I'm sure people look at BDO and go, "Well, I just don't have enough time or money to play that," and I respect that, I suppose. But I don't know, man. I could never go back. The best days of WoW are way behind us. Way behind us. Are they doing a level squish? I heard a rumor. I heard they're doing a level squish for it. Is that true?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. So I don't know. I'm a little surprised and disappointed. I think there's enough influencers within World of Warcraft to be able to shake it up enough to have some interesting things happen, and it just hasn't. World of Warcraft's always going to be the same. It's just going to be the same gear cycle over and over and over again.
Yeah,
At least with this game, we have no idea how they're going to fuck it up next, and I think that's pretty interesting.
I think it's possible that Warcraft could start going a good direction, but it requires a leadership change at Blizzard, because right now they're just too focused on money and not necessarily player enjoyment.
Yeah, that ship sailed years ago.
Yep.
All the talents from that company is long gone.
Yep.
Keep an eye out for Pantheon or something. I mean, there's no way that WoW's gonna be. It's never gonna recapture the old feeling that you had in the classic days. That's why so many people yearn for classic.
I think basically, right now they're basically cashing in on the previous fame that they've had as a company. And I think the only game that so far that I've seen from Blizzard that's interested me is Diablo 4, because the Diablo 4 team has monthly posts, and they're like listening to player feedback, and then they develop on that even farther to refine the existing ideas that they're already pushing for, without compromising their core value that they're trying to push for their game. And I don't think it's a perfect game, and I doubt it's going to be what players want it to be. But of Blizzard's games that they're currently working on that we're aware of, it's the one that has the most potential in my mind. And if that ends up being a small success for them, maybe then they start applying those lessons learned there to other games like World of Warcraft, and then we can start looking forward to maybe World of Warcraft after they've learned a few lessons from another team potentially. But I like I said, I don't think it's going to be anything good in the foreseeable future for it. It's just going to be the same thing, new flavor maybe, and that's all we can really hope for.
I think my favorite thing about the Diablo franchise is how they kind of unapologetically come up with these weird ass stories that are supposed to make sense. Like you fight and kill the primeval, and then Deckard King comes out and goes, "Oh, he escaped the sealed stone again. Mephisto is out to steal our babies." It's like, how does a game have a conclusion and then just bring old Deckard out and just Diablo did it again?
I think I can say for certain that Diablo 3 had the worst storyline of any RPG I've ever played in my life.
By such a large margin, too.
Yeah, by a huge fucking margin.
I had no idea what the story was.
Acting, though. Such good voice acting for the terrible, terrible dialogue.
Right. So how are they gonna how much worse is Diablo 4 gonna be? You think they're aiming for that? All right, Diablo 3's.
My expectations are very, very straightforward for Diablo 4. I expect incredible, cutting-edge cutscenes with beautiful scenes, everything. I expect an absolutely dog-shit storyline. And then I expect really, really good action combat with leaderboards that makes me want to compete with other people to be number one on that leaderboard. And that's all I want. That's all I want. I want Diablo 3 reborn as Diablo 4. With leaderboards, and if it does that, I'll be happy for like 3 months, and then I'll go back to playing some other game again.
I really don't want them to repeat Diablo 3. I hope I don't know, man. I don't really have any hope for Diablo 4. I have more hope for the Diablo 2 remaster at this point.
Well, oh man, that
one has lots of problems actually.
So the what's that game that's coming out from? I think Korea. That a bunch of streamers. Yeah, Lost Ark. I think that's the Diablo 4 answer there, is us getting a Western version of that game.
It's pay to win.
Yeah, I think we're relatively close. What is you said it was pay to win?
It's not pay to win, dude. It's fucking gear cap and PvP.
They released the game, and then basically you can autocomplete dungeons. After the first month, they released the ability to autocomplete dungeons.
Are you talking about single player pay to win?
Well, convenience, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, they have a lot of that in there.
Okay, but what I'm saying is if your cash transactions don't affect your PvP, then who gives a shit? Like if someone wants to buy their way to auto dungeon completions, then they can knock themselves out. That has nothing to do with me.
I think the core problem is that there's no long-term progression for the PvP side of things. Since it's not tied to your regular gear, there's no like long-term progression, so people get burnt out on it. Like I think
it's basically be excited about a game. Can we just be hopeful that a game's going to be fun?
It's going to be a fun game to play for a month or two, and then it's going to be over. It's a new world. That's what it is at this point.
That's what every game is at this point.
True.
You guys are depressing me. I'm gonna pour milk in my fucking computer. I had this whole depressive.
Why milk?
Because there's no coming back from that. I used to like with New World. I was so pleasantly surprised because I just dragged myself out of bed and just went, "Fuck it, let's see what happens." And I had so much fun. It's probably the most fun I've had playing an MMO since I started BDO before streaming. And it kind of taught me to stop being so harsh on these things and just go in with maybe a little bit more of a not even a positive mindset, but just a neutral mindset.
I think the thing that I'm looking for from an MMO is I'm looking for a long-term experience that I can enjoy, and I don't see that anytime coming soon. And it's not like these other games are going to be bad games. It's just that they're not going to be good long-term games. And that's why I'm really looking for.
They are bad games, though. I totally disagree, and I'm negative for a reason. I'm pessimistic for a reason, and it's because these fucking idiots need to learn how to make a good game, and it's not hard. It's not that hard to make a good game. We have decades of good games. It's only the last 10 years that this has been an issue. All the games before that were fucking insanely good. So they just need to stop being garbage, and then I will start being more optimistic.
What's the last good MMO to be released?
Ultimate Online.
No, there was a few good ones after that, but not many. Probably, I don't know, probably RuneScape.
Actually, yeah,
like
I like RuneScape a lot.
What'd you think of SWOTAR?
I didn't play it.
What's the biggest component that games are missing, like new MMOs are missing that old ones had?
The risk, innovation, like just the new ideas. We don't take any risks with modern MMOs. They copy features that they have seen work mostly in World of Warcraft, and they try to put a new skin on it. And they don't have any risk as far as like player interactions or emergent gameplay or justice systems or PvP. It's just the same rehashed shit over and over again.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, risk. Darkfall was one of the worst games I ever played, but it was also one of my favorites.
God, Darkfall was so good, even though it was so bad.
I mean, you guys think that there's some broken shit in BDO. This thing was like...
You literally had to cheat in Darkfall in order to be relevant, but it was still such a fun game.
Yeah, because of the social interactions, their risk-taking and making a game in their own image. They listened to the community after a while, and they made Darkfall and Holy Wars worst thing ever. It was the worst thing ever.
Never listened to the community.
I mean, you could buy a car, you could buy a Honda for Darkfall's 1's budget. Is about how much money they put into that, or at least that's the way it looked. But holy shit, was it fun. So I think I'd love to see a game like Star Wars Galaxies. I talk about that all the time. And the thing that ruined that, it wasn't even player feedback. It was actually LucasArts ruined that. But then player feedback ruined that even further. Or I guess player feedback got to LucasArts, and LucasArts told them they had to change it. But
I don't think inherently player feedback is a bad thing. It's just that the developers can't
I'm not
figure out.
trying to say that.
The developers in most cases can't figure out who not to listen to and who to listen to, right? Because there's some people they go to Reddit and they're like, all right, Reddit News Day, why are people complaining about it? This is not the information source to go to, You got to have some type of... This player feedback can be good, but you have to get the right people.
Your audiences, you can't make a PvP game and then get a bunch of feedback from hardcore anti-PvPers and take that to heart. True. That's what keeps happening with all these sandbox games. They're like, oh, we're going to make an open world, risky, gritty sandbox game. And then, some WoW player comes and plays it. And they're like, I got killed. I lost my stuff. I'm quitting. And they're like, oh, no, we don't want our players to quit. We better change the whole game and copy WoW more. It's like they just need to decide who their audience is and stick with it.
True. BDO has that problem too. They originally went for a hardcore, grindy audience. And now it's changed over to how much gear can we give you and how fast can we give it to you? And then, they went from a PvP audience to if anybody dies ever, it's the worst thing that's ever happened. So, yeah, we've seen that in BDO and we've seen it in New World now.
Yeah, it scares me that they're so excited that Asmon's playing their game because he really just can't get off that World of Warcraft nipple. And that's the last thing that New World needs is any more or any inspiration from World of Warcraft. We need to move on from that meta so fucking bad. We need to look at what worked in the past and some of these indie games, on the MMO. How do you capture the magic of EverQuest 1? And they have that a little bit by, all the localization that they've done in New World. There are glimmers of hope there. but catering to this PMA softcore group of PvEers, that game sucks for PvE outside of the high-end group grinds.
It doesn't need to be like a PMA thing, though. You don't need toxicity in PvP games. You can make a PvP game where you design the justice system in such a way where there's good guys and bad guys, and like the community will rally around hunting down the evil players, and it actually turns into a positive community building thing. That's what used to happen in these older games.
Mm-hmm. So Tim, I think honestly you're rooting for the justice system, but I think honestly if it ever happens, they're just gonna root you out of the game. What?
I'm gonna root you out of this game. You're gonna be squealing for streamer protection when I'm done with you.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready.
No, you're not.
Yeah, of course I am. Yeah,
I wish I could hug you.
Why do you guys? I'm just looking for something to play. I'm looking forward to this next New World beta, just to see my teeth in. Hopefully, we don't have a new class in the middle of it.
Hey, do you want to play some Albion, Moreland?
Yeah, I'll play some Albion.
All right, let's. I kind of want like something else to play now that New World's gone, and everybody kept saying Albion, and I never gave it a real chance.
Maybe we can get a lot of good updates recently. Is the community still growing there, right?
Yeah, Albion's doing super well. I think the population's probably the best it's been since launch.
Yeah,
we could stream it too, and probably not kill our streams. That'd be cool.
It's a pretty unfun game to stream.
Oh, is it?
The community for Albion is probably the worst community in the entire planet. It's basically where all the RuneScape kids went to become even more toxic.
Sign me the fuck up.
I can just imagine Tim being like, "I'm the king bully," and then having an army of little RuneScape mob behind him.
I mean, it took me all of like 12 hours to accomplish that New World, so
it's true. Actually,
yeah, Albion's a little bit different, dude. You're going to be going against 2,000 man Zergs who like pay people literal salaries to hold their territories for them. I mean. You're probably not going to take that game over in a week, but you could try.
No, I know it's well established, but paying people salaries? How do I get on that?
Bro, that game is it's like RuneScape Eve. It's got like all the sweatiness and toxicity from both those games combined. It's huge, like mega groups of players who are like funneling IRL money into holding down cities and getting the best gear, and like people take that shit super seriously, man. Like it is their life.
I like that, honestly. That's the type of game that lasts forever.
Oh yeah, that people who play it are extremely invested in it. I mean,
is it weird playing a game that you used to work for?
Not really. Why would it be?
I don't know. I've never worked for a game.
I mean, I just did customer service for them. I wasn't really like designing anything.
I guess it'd be both cool and interesting to be like, I made that and they ruined it or whatever.
Well, I mean that's why the lead designer of SWG killed himself.
Did he actually?
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. Not lucky. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, on that note,
that is Nerds and Words episode 15.
That's what we're gonna end it?
Tim Allen 1337. We had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and ended on a great note. Let's go through and talk about what we can expect from each other's channels this week. Potion Shop, he's still gonna have 5,000 viewers and enthrall us all.
Probably not. I'm working my way back down to a 100 Andy, so we'll see. I'm be releasing a YouTube video. Probably going to be slowly grinding towards 63 Hashashin on a casual basis. I'd like to get a black star for my Hashashin, just so that my grinding is not so sufferable anymore. I don't know. That's about it. Nothing too crazy.
How about you, Moreland?
What am I doing this week? waiting for Hashashin Awakening to come out. Probably playing some more Among Us, maybe some Fall Guys. I think Fall Guys is the answer to PvP that we've all been waiting for. I think that's the.
Honestly, that's a really fun game.
It's
Are you
the
playing
highest
Fall-
stakes PvP game that I've seen in years.
Are you playing Fall Guys after this?
No, I'm gonna do. Well, I was gonna do something important in BDO today, and I can't remember what it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm going to be continuing to make YouTube updates of my Hashashin new account season 2 updates. So I'm aiming to make 5 updates a week. I take the weekends off because I have a family. And I'll be streaming in the afternoon/evenings. So check that out. But thank you guys. This was a certainly an interesting episode. There's a lot of BDOs just changing so fast. It's kind of hard to even keep track of.
Yeah, hard to know where to go with it all.
But thank you guys very much, and have a good week. We'll see y'all next week. We're on Spotify and YouTube Saturdays, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Have an excellent week.